Monsieur le Def. Hello. Hello, hello. Let's derp with another derping game. Me. It's a bit... I think it has music. Something. Holy moly. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. No, I don't think. New game. Let's see what this thing is all about.
Long ago in England in 1592, there begins our tale, and all of it is true. Through all of London, bubonic plague spread, covering folk in weeping sores and leaving thousands dead.
Oh, charming. Charming. Drag left to turn the page. It's one of those.
From towns and cities, doctors they did flee, leaving their patients to die.
when all the comets fled. Might learn to be because he was too sick to leave his bed.
Alas, 'tis my final hour. I will surely die. I am too far gone to recover, and for the plague there is no cure.
What?
Unless a cure might be found in the stars.
Yes. Choose one zodiac to diagnose the condition. How might I be cured of the plague? Should Foreman use this reading? The plague. I have the plague, characterized by a loss of appetite, immoderate thirst, a pus-filled swelling behind the ears, in the armpits, and in the groin. Oh, Jesus. Didn't know about the groin part. There are symptoms of fever provoked by excess sanguinity in the liver. Jupiter domicile in Sagittarius. This indicates a severe imbalance in your blood humor. Obviously. You chose Sagittarius.
Let me see now. According to the stars, the way to cure the plague is to treat the fever it provokes.
Ah,
Oh, can it be true? Might a disease so monstrous as the plague be cured by treating it as if it were an exceeding bad fever?
oh,
Then I must
symptomatic
use
stuff
powerful
should
herbs
help.
to bring the fever to crisis and break it. Let me see now. Angelica and dandelion for heat, borage to provoke sweating, infuse them in wine, strain and distill the mixture to produce a most powerful strong water.
Didn't you play something like this before? He fell. Or fainted. I
Sir,
played
I
the
am
deaf
cured.
one last time or 2 times ago.
I shall now go forth with my miraculous strong water to cure all London of the plague.
I don't know. I played a couple of games that might be like this one. There was a one with Hamlet, I think, at some point. Simon Foreman, 13th of October, 1592. 4 o'clock. How might I be cured of the plague? I judge my plague symptoms as being provoked by fever. I invented a new kind of strong water to cure it. Okay. Letter of recommendation, 0 out of 100. This querient will return for another consultation. See case summary. I shall cure Londoners of the plague. So wondrous will be my work that plays and songs will be writ in my honor. I bet this guy like dies of the plague or something at, at the end of the game.
Foreman made a plague cure and used it on himself, then left his house to risk all Londoners to health.
Huzzah! 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 Huzzah!
Simon Foreman, he cured us of the plague, 'tis true.
Some details are a little vague, but we know he used astrology and knows his own strong water. So what if he be not a proper licensed doctor?
I mean, were there really licensed doctors in the, what is it, 16th century there?
Here comes a lady queer and a little wary. Her name is Avis Allen, what can her trouble be?
Ah, did they sing all this, all the game? Is it all song?
God give you good day, madam. How may I?
You Mr. Foreman? Mr. Simon Foreman, the doctor?
I, madam, I am indeed Dr. Simon Foreman. I bid you welcome to my consulting chambers, Mistress.
Alan, Mistress Avis Allen of Lambeth.
Pray tell me your age, if you please, madam.
I am 33 years of age.
And how might I do you service this day, Mr. Allen? Pray describe your troubles to me.
Well, the pain started full late last eve upon retiring to bed. Not that I am in the habit of retiring so late, but my husband did desire a special supper of cold meats to celebrate and give thanks for
cold meats.
In any case, it started in the night and it continued until dawning. That being the pain in my head and the chundering.
A moment whilst I make note of this.
Chundering?
And involuntary purging. Is that all?
Aye, that is all.
Ah. So chundering is...
My complaints seem most trifling, and you are doubtless busy with important cases. Oh, like the plague! Yea, verily, mayhap I should not have come after all. Good day, Dr. Foreman. I beseech you pardon me, for I have wasted your time.
Prithee, do not go, for I assure you, madam, your case verily is important to me. And 'tis important to you, is it not, Mistress Allen? Else you would not have come this day.
Well, aye.
Let us consult the stars now then, shall we? What is the cause of Mistress Allen's suffering?
Chundering. What are these? Chundering. Choose one zodiac to diagnose the condition. I was up all night with a headache and chundering. What caused my suffering? Good old chundering. Nobody would like that. This indicates a disturbance of the mind. Scorpio, ruler of the reproductive system. Yes, and this. Saturn in determinant and retrograde. Ooh. Is suffering from evil digestion. This suggested a mild imbalance of black bile in the body. Miss Allen's troubles have been provoked by anxious passions associated with her being with child. Ah, that might be it. Hopefully.
You are with child, Mistress Allen. 'Twas the reason for your celebration last even, methinks.
Aye, but how did you know?
I can see it in my chart, madam. There is a planet aligned with Scorpio at present, Scorpio being the constellation that rules over such matters. Pray tell, how long has it been since your monthly courses?
It has been 14 weeks since my courses, and yesterday I did feel the child quicken. So, indeed, 'twas the cause for our celebration, as you say. For I have been with child before, you see, but 'tis never. And Mr. Allen and I do pray this one will be born alive.
No, Jesus.
Dear lady, the presence of the planet Mercury in my chart does suggest you suffer from anxious passions on account of your condition, and given your ill-favoured history, I warrant 'twas the twin burdens of hope and fear that provoked your troubles last even.
Oh, I see.
Pray take this flask of wine, madam. It has been infused with cloves, ginger root, and cinnamon. Drink of it each morning, and you should soon feel much.
That sounds delicious.
Verily.
Some cinnamon
What
wine.
do as you advise? I thank ye heartily, sir. Fare you well, Dr. Foreman.
Fare you well, Mistress Allen.
Another happy customer. The stars are right. The querent did present with symptoms of headache and involuntary upward purging. I judged as being with child. Okay. 55%. What a kind man Dr. Foreman is, and how patient with me. This one will return for another consultation. Cool. I do like this though. It's pretty neat. Used to have a couple of these at home. So watch over our dude who's not blessed with sense and wisdom.
Good day, sir. You are Simon Foreman, the physician, are you not? These are your rooms.
Indeed, I am he, and well met, sir. It's Thomas Bligh I have the honour of welcoming to my humble consulting chambers, the Dean of Rochester Cathedral.
Indeed, 'tis I, Thomas Blagg. Though it is not upon church business that I come to you this day. 'Tis upon a matter of my own that I require counsel. I have lately been offered some very lucrative investment opportunities. And, well, it is said that God speaks to us through the stars, does he not?
Indeed he does. 'Tis well known that astrology is but a conduit for the word of God, as interpreted using scientifical means. And now, these investments of which you speak, pray tell of them, if you please.
2 merchant ships will shortly set sail on very lucrative trading expeditions. I do not possess the coin to invest in both. Hence, I must choose between them. And I must choose very wisely indeed. For sea voyages are most perilous, and if my ship were to founder or be captured by pirates, I would lose my entire investment.
Aye, forsooth, 'twould be most lamentable, to say nothing of the poor souls who might lose their lives.
Who are, naturally, the greater of my concerns.
Aye, naturally. And whither might these ships be bound?
The first is bound for the Spice Islands of the East. 'Tis a voyage to be undertaken by a ship named the Conquering Cherub. The other is the Pride of Yarmouth. She is to bring back sugar from the Americas. Have you now the information you require? Then perchance you may divine for me upon which of these 2 ships our Lord God has bestowed his divine blessing.
Aye, Dean Blagg, we may now consult the stars. Should Thomas Blagg invest in the voyage of the Conquering Cherub, or that of the Pride of Yarmouth?
Which one would be safer? Towards the Spice Islands or towards the Americas? Read the stars by selecting highlighted sections in the sky. Uranus, which represents a change in fortune. Bligh's investments in a traditional voyage would result in a change of fortune for him. Yeah, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? Doesn't say. Also journeys. Uranus or, Mr. Uranus. We do say it Uranus here. Yes, that's the Greek way to say it. Venus, this represents femininity in the house of marriage. The ship's name should evoke a woman who partakes in a marriage. Okay, or A. Read the stars by selecting the highlighted section in the sky. Yes. The ship's name should evoke a child who is victorious in battle. Mars domicile in Scipio. This represents victory. What do you think? Journey, marriage, or children? I guess we should go with a journey.
First, I must advise you that your investment will bring about a change in fortune for you.
I should hope so. Indeed, it is the reason for my
Don't
desire
really
to
know
make
if it's
such
good
an
or bad.
investment. But in which ship?
You must invest in the Bride of Yarmouth.
The Bride of Yarmouth? The bride? But how on earth?
Allow me to explain, Dean Blagg. In the house of marriage, we see the planet Venus, which does represent femininity. And what is the feminine element of a wedding? 'Tis the bride. Ergo, the bride of Yarmouth. Do you now see? I assure you, my logic is most sound.
Doubtless it is, though 'tis of no
indeed.
use to me, for I said nothing of a ship called the Bride of Yarmouth. 'Twas the Pride of Yarmouth. Pride, with a P.
With a P.
Verily, but I...
Oh, tush, Dr. Foreman. I will not judge you harshly. For
No.
in truth, I too do oft find myself thus befuddled. We elder gentlemen cannot expect to be as sharp as once we were, can we?
Sir, I hardly think we're of the same age.
Prithee, sirrah, as much as I would love to bide and discourse with you, it is almost time for my afternoon nap. Mayhap you would benefit from one also. Good day, Dr. Foreman, and keep ye well.
Whoops. Dim 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 dim. Methinks the Quirrell took my advice a little ill. Well, he didn't get a recommendation. By process of elimination, it now seems logical for me to invest in the conquering cherub. Okay. Full afraid. Okay.
Good morrow, sir. Pray tell, are these the consulting chambers of Simon Foreman, Doctor of Astrology and Physic?
Indeed, 'tis I, Dr. Simon Foreman. And your name, madam?
Emma Sharp of Shoreditch, sir. 25 years of age.
Welcome, Miss Sharp. And how may I do you service this day?
Well, 'tis a trifle delicate. A man has asked me to be his wife. A dear, kind man, but I fear you will think me cold, Dr. Foreman.
There, madam, whatever is the matter?
Well, he is exceeding advanced in years. I do worry he may not be long for the world, and if he were to die, I do not think I could bear it. Verily, I would not. Indeed, methinks I would rather not marry him at all. Am I very heartless, Dr. Foreman?
Nay, not in the least, madam. Your fears are most reasonable. A man in the winter of his life is indeed more likely to die. I assure you, madam, 'tis a medical fact. But methinks you wish to know whether this man be afflicted with a grave health condition, do you not? To wit, any ailment that might soon prove fatal?
Forsooth I do. That is my question precisely. Why, Dr. Foreman, 'tis as if you have a gift for reading minds.
Merely the gift of logical surmise, madam. Let us see whether a judgment of the stars may calm your fears. Does Mr. What was your gentleman's name?
Mr. George Middleton, a wool merchant.
Does Mr. Middleton have any ailments that might hasten his death?
So she didn't tell me. Pluto in retrograde, this suggests the possibility of death. Uranus in retrograde, this suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch. Has been bewitched, the enchantment may prove fatal. Mr. Middleton suffers from dropping down of the piss. What? Drooping? There is dropping, right? Dropping down of the piss. Characterized by involuntary urination. It is exacerbated when combined with his fear of heights. This suggests a severe vertigo. Cardiac passion. This represents an imbalance of phlegm. This suggests a mild imbalance of the black bile. The illness cannot be cured. Neptune. Ruler of the heart. Cardiac passion. I have no clue. This is fatal. This may end in death. This is something to have with fear of heights. Let's put this one. We chose Leo.
I am full sorry, madam, but the stars give heavy news. Mr. Middleton suffers from a cardiac passion. Indeed, his heart may stop at any moment. He must avoid anything that might alarm or trouble his vital spirits. One shock could be enough to kill him.
Oh, woe, alas, poor Mr. Middleton. I thank you for your kind understanding, Dr. Foreman, and for your discretion in this matter. I will at once to my family go and beseech them not to make me accept Mr. Middleton's proposal. God give you good day, Dr. Foreman.
Okay, she seemed to like that. Pleased with me with the reading. Okay. Who was that handsome manservant I passed at the door? Mayhap one day I shall have a servant that cuts so fine a figure. Okay. Public notice, be aware. Is the man treating you a qualified licensed doctor? London has lately been inopportuned by low-born charlatans claiming the title of doctor. These men have never attended university, and therefore cannot be trusted. Any man found to be practicing medicine without a medical license shall be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. That's not me.
Murdering would those doctors come. Murdering those doctors come. Murdering one fine day. Those doctors will they slave for me? Those doctors will they slave for me? Slave for me? Will they send him to jail? They send him to jail.
Oh no, I go to jail.
What is the meaning of this warning being put about by the College of Physicians? Do they mean to do me harm? It is true that I do not have a medical license. What am I to do? Mayhap the stars will advise me.
Indeed. The authority of the licensed doctors of London hold is primarily owing to their wealth and privilege. There is as much that they do not want about the physic. Do not know about the physic. Jupiter falling in Capricorn. This represents ignorance. House of wealth. Church of England can help me, for the Archbishop of Canterbury has a special power to grant medical licenses. This represents a religious authority, head of the church. House of ambitions. Mars in retrograde. This advises the ending of a war. The College of Physicians is making war against me. If I am to become the best doctor in London, I must find a way to end this war. Wealth, ambition, and religion. Or B. Must use my brilliant mind to forge a strong relationship with my querents. This represents intelligence. The solution involves being sensitive to the needs of my querents. Oh. Service of others in the relationship, or wealth, ambition, and I might get a license, but from the church? I don't think so. But this wants to end the war. I don't know. I'll take B.
It seems that if I'm to avoid prosecution by the College of Physicians, I must obtain a medical license. Towards this end, doubtless the best course is to serve my querents well, treating their illnesses and problems with intelligence and sensitivity. For if I do, they may favour me with letters of recommendation, and I can use these to petition the University of Cambridge to grant me a license.
Nice.
Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before? Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before? Who is come to inquire dressed in such rich attire? Tis Signor Ferraro.
No.
Good day to you, sir. Oh, I see you're having some difficulties. William, fetch my guest a chair.
No, it's good. I am just a little stiff.
As you wish. Mr.
Signor Riccardo Ferraro. I am a gentleman of Venezia, come to make a trade in London.
Venice? 'Tis a fine city, I hear. And how may I do you service this day, Signor Ferraro?
I am come with una problema medicale, and you are most great dottore who does cure all London, huh? You cure Ferraro too, see?
Forsooth, I will seek to do so, Signor. Pray, describe your complaints, if you please.
Is burning when I make the water.
Pain during urination?
See, and is pain down here. Molto pain.
And pain in the lower back. Now, let us see what the stars can tell us. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Signor Ferraro suffers from the gout, which is caused by hot, dry humors seeping into the joints of the foot. This represents an imbalance of the yellow bile in the body. Color. Stones in the kidneys. This disease can occasionally loss of appetite, severe pain in the kidney area, vomiting, and difficulty passing urine. This suggests a severe imbalance of the phlegm in the body. Might be this one, right? Dysentery. Characterized by pains of bowels, faintness, and oily stools. Well, it's definitely not that. He doesn't have oily stools. This one, the Libra.
'Tis a case of stones in the kidney, I regret to say. But worry not, Signor. I will give you an ounce of my strong water to dislodge them. Drink this entire flask when you rise at dawn tomorrow. You may then expect to evacuate the stones by way of your privy member within just a few hours.
Your famous strong water. This water is said to cure the plague, huh? I thank you, Signor Foreman. And now Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Good day. Probably had something like that. I don't know about the strong water part. Interesting. He seems to exhibit at least the semblance of competence. Awkward hero needs an awkward princess.
Well met, Mistress Allen. Pray tell, the last time I saw you, you were with child, methinks. Pray tell, how fares...
I would rather not talk about that, if you please.
Well,
Oh, I see. I am full.
not good.
I'm come upon... The matter that brings...
Pardon, madam. I prithee, madam, say on.
I'm come about the new law. I know not what to do, and I would have counsel.
You are in trouble with the law, madam?
Nay, at least not yet, but my neighbours have begun to remark unkindly upon my absences, my Sunday absences from church. I am afeard one of them may soon denounce me.
Ah, 'tis the Act Against Recusants you speak of. The law that obliges Catholics to attend church and take the English sacrament. You are of the Catholic faith, then, I take it?
I, a Catholic, but as well a law-abiding woman and a full loyal subject of the Queen. Long may she reign.
I do not doubt it, madam.
But to take the Protestant sacrament, 'tis heresy. So says the Pope in Rome. I risk being damned to hell if I do it, Dr. Foreman. Verily, I find myself in a most terrible bind.
I see. Damned if you do, yet condemned if you do not. A cruel bind indeed. Let us see if the stars may untangle it for us. Should Mistress Avis Allen attend Protestant church services?
There may be a creative solution for pleasing the Pope in Rome, whilst also honouring England's Protestant legacy. Okay. Avest must remain strong in her Catholic faith, for when the Queen dies, her successors may revert English back to Catholicism. Mr. Allen risks getting in trouble with the law and being punished by the authorities. That's not good. It is Miss Allen's duty to cooperate. What? I mean, the last one isn't in the same park with these. Some have wrong impressions of Allen's wealth and are envious. Mrs. Allen's problems is her female neighbors. Yeah, let's pick this one, sure.
Dear lady, if your neighbours consider speaking against you, 'twould be on account of envy.
Envy? But Mr. Allen and I have not been blessed with... I've not had the same fortune as other women. And to be sure, we are not wealthy.
Yes, of course. Hence you must disabuse your neighbours of their ill-founded notions. Indeed, you must have them believe that you are, in truth, most poor.
Then I am to have my neighbours pity me.
Precisely so, madam. For if they were to pity you, they would never think of reporting you to the authorities. Nay, they would say, "See how low poor Mistress Allen has come. She has no gown fine enough for church, so she finds an excuse not to come by pretending she is a Catholic."
Oh, I see. Then I must wear coarser clothes as well. In truth, 'twill not be agreeable to be talked of so. But nay, 'tis naught but my vanity.
Well, he swinged it.
And if a woman must sacrifice her comeliness for the sake of her soul, so be it. 'Tis but a small price to pay.
Oh, be assured,
that
madam,
was positive.
it
She
will be
swinged it. He swinged it.
Methinks you would appear no less comely in poorer attire.
Oh, Dr. Foreman, you make me blush.
Forgive me, dear lady. 'Tis not my intention to occasion you any. Madam, would you care to see my collection of Venetian glassware?
I think I would. Indeed, I would like that very well.
Coitus post consultatio? Okay. She's close to giving me a letter of recommendation. God bend me, what have I done? If only I knew of a Jesuit priest, I might confess my sins too.
Here comes a beauty dark as night. Her hair does shine, her eyes are bright. A damsel formed for man's delight.
Oh, she is quite a lady. Oh, she is
Quite a
Lady.
Good day to you, sir. I am Amelia Bassano of Bishopsgate, here for my consultation.
Welcome, Mistress Bassano. Bassano, 'tis an Italian name, is it not?
Aye, it is, sir. Though I was born in London, my family are from Venice. They did come to London to gain employment as musicians at the royal court.
Ah, I know one of your countrymen, Riccardo Ferraro, another one of my querents. Mayhap you know him? He hails from Venice too.
No, sir, I do not know him. Venice is a large city, and as such 'tis home to many thousands of men. And as I did mention, I was born in London.
Aye, of course. Mayhap we turn our thoughts to what brings you hither this day. Have you a question for me?
Aye, sir, I wish to know what afflicts me, for my belly does begin to swell, and lately I oft find myself chundering after meals.
Swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. Well now, let us consult the stars to judge the cause of these troubles. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Bassano?
She might breed with a kid like the other one. Let's see if we have that option. Liver worm. Okay. With child. Creak in the knees caused by pressure of excessive weight gain. No, the kid bottom. It's the only one. Close.
I neglected to ask. Is there a Mr. Bassano?
Aye, my father still lives.
I mean to say, are you yet married, Mistress Bassano? I presume you are, for the stars indicate that you are with child. Wondrous news indeed.
Ah, I see.
Of course, it is natural for a young lady to be a trifle anxious when she's expecting her first child. And I see you are anxious, are you not?
Aye, Mr. Foreman, I own that I am.
Well, doubtless you are anxious owing to the unpredictable nature of your condition. For instance, sometimes the child might emerge from its mother's womb early, weeks or even months earlier than anticipated. This possibility is a medical fact, and one that should be explained to any husband you may... Do you see what I'm saying, Mistress Bassano?
Nay, not in the least, sir.
Some of my maiden querents, I assume you are still unmarried and therefore a maiden, when they find themselves inexplicably with child, they oft do not remain unmarried for long. I advise you to discuss this with your family without delay, Mistress Bassano. Doubtless they will be keen to make the arrangements for you.
I see. Yes, of course. I must lose no time in finding a husband. I thank you, Dr. Foreman. Good day.
Lol. Okay. She's not married. She's going to marry some guy. Tell him it's an early child. Who knows? Doubtless cousin Alfonso will consent to marry me, especially if Lord Hunsdon settles money on me for the child. Sure.
Mary Payne is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for 'tis a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes direct from Satan's mouth.
What? Mary Payne is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for it is a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes directly from Satan. Fa la 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 la. Okay.
Blessed morrow to you, Dr. Foreman. I am Mary Payne of 4th Street in Lambeth, and come to seek your counsel about my neighbours.
Good morrow, Mistress Payne, and well met. What trouble do your neighbours give you? They play their lutes into the night, perchance? Mayhap a neighbour has cast a malignant spell upon your cabbages.
Why, sir, 'tis no trifling matter. Indeed, 'tis a matter of grave importance. Doubtless you do know we have a Catholic living on 4th Street. A woman by the name of Avis Allen.
Ah, yes. I did hear tell that Mistress Allen subscribes to the Romish faith. But 'tis no crime to be a Catholic, is it, madam? At least, not at present.
Aye, but harbouring a Jesuit priest is, Dr. Foreman. These evenings past, I have spied a man sneaking in and out of the Allens' house. 'Tis my reckoning the man is a priest who is going hither and thither all over Lambeth to perform the Catholic Mass and take confessions. Doubtless Mr. Allen is hiding him in one of those little cupboards.
You mean to say you think Mr. Allen has installed a priest hole in his house? A secret room hidden behind the wood panelling of a wall?
Indeed I do. I am certain that he has such a hole, and that a priest is going in and out of Mr. Allen's hole from dusk till dawn.
Verily? How troubling. But surely you are mistaken, madam, for under the cover of darkness, how can you be sure the man you did spy was not Mr. Allen himself?
Nay, nay, 'twas not Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a fine, tall figure of a man, whereas the figure I did spy was very narrow and malformed in appearance. A scrawny little imp of a man he was.
I see.
Now, you must not think me intolerant, Dr. Foreman. If Mistress Allen must cling to her idolatrous backward beliefs, 'tis her own affair, and I have no wish to cause trouble for the Allens. And even though Mistress Allen has lately not been seen in church, thus far I have held my tongue about it. But we residents of 4th Street are decent English folk. We will not abide an agent of Rome sneaking around our neighbourhood, muttering incantations in some devilish foreign tongue.
I think you mean Latin, madam.
But before I act upon my suspicions, I think it wise to know if there be any truth in them.
Then let us see what the stars can tell us. Who is this mysterious stranger, and why does he frequent the Allen's house late at night?
Is she talking about the foreman, though? No, I don't think so. They had their little business here, I think. He wasn't in their home. She came to him, I think. Are my neighbors, the Allens, hiding the Jesuit priests? The man Mistress Payne saw is a public enemy who endangers in idolatrous worship of the Virgin Mary. In other words, he is a Jesuit priest. The stars speak of an educated man who adorns himself in fine clothes. He speaks of a relationship with an unworthy foreigner. As foreigners are unworthy by nature, this element may be of no particular insignificance. Mistress Allen's maternal instincts have been thwarted by her inability to bear a child, but she stubbornly persists in trying to reverse her infertility. This is pretty true. Yes, and avoids the Jesuit priest thing. Miss Payne will die suddenly, mayhap before the end of this consultation. Narrow and malformed, a scrawny little imp of a man. I might kill her. You might be right there. I guess we could kill her. But, I don't know. I didn't go to her house. The man Mistress Payne saw harbors cruel intentions towards the Allen household goods and possessions. This suggests cruelty. So, I might kill her. I think B is probably the best. One with a kid. B. Let's see.
Ah, 'twould seem the man you saw is a foreigner who's been secreted into the Allen house to aid Mistress Allen with their family difficulties.
Family difficulties? Come, Dr. Foreman. Pray speak plain.
Ah, well, as you doubtless know, the Allens have never been blessed with a living child. Mayhap 'tis the belief of Mistress Allen that the seed of a foreigner would prove more powerful than the, demonstrably less successful seed of Mr. Allen.
Then 'tis naught but adultery, fornication with a foreigner.
Fornication.
Pay dearly for such sinning. Her soul will be damned to an afterlife, beset by the exquisite tortures of hell's capricious demons.
Aye, well, according to scripture, that is technically true.
But to harbour a Jesuit priest is a far greater evil. We must be glad that Mistress Allen commits naught but the sin of adultery, conducted late at night, with a man who gives forth strong foreign seed. You have given me much to think on, Dr. Foreman.
Oh, okay.
Blessed
It's
day.
ended
I am glad to have been of service.
up
Mistress
pretty good.
Payne.
Foreign seeds. What a fine-looking young foreman's manservant is. Oh, would that I were my niece's age again. I guess I have a nice-looking dude working for me.
When the querent does rock a continental frock, when the Ferraro does rock a continental frock, when his Italian flair features on facial hair, 'tis Ferraro.
Okay.
God give you good day, signor. And how may I assist you?
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great dottore, Simon Foreman.
So I see. What brings you this day?
I bring myself to you, so you treat my illness. 'Tis very grave.
And, what might this illness be? Perchance we might start with your complaints.
First problem is the laughter that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable laughter, you say? I see. Anything else?
Next problem, the dancing that cannot be controlled.
Ooh,
Controllable dancing.
dancing mania.
And yet, you do not appear to be dancing at present.
What can I say? 'Tis uncontrollable dancing. I cannot control when I dance.
Nay, 'tis a fair point.
Doubtless my disease, whatever it may be, is very rare and very difficult to diagnose. But of course, if it be beyond your medical understanding...
Let me assure you, signor, that whatever is said of us on the continent, the learning of we English doctors is unparalleled. There is no better medical care to be had than in London. Now, let us see whether the stars may tell us something of your unusual and troubling illness.
He is burping a lot. Might be drunk. Ferraro is suffering from colic, a disease that occurs abdominal pain, belching and bloating of the stomach. He is belching. Signor Ferraro has been bitten by a tarantula. On one of his ankles. Tarantula venom causes the victim to laugh, sing, or dance uncontrollably, while also provoking an acute loathing of music. This is pretty close, right? Laughing and dancing and... But he's also belching and stuff. This is tricky because he didn't mention his ankles at all. But we could observe the belching and stuff. I thought he was drunk. Is this true though? Tarantula venom? You know what? I'm going to Google this. The hell does tarantula venom do? The venom of the largest all spider generally has very low toxicity to humans. Ah, so the tarantula isn't really that dangerous. Outside of southern Europe, where the name is used for a wolf spider, famous in medieval superstition as alleged cause for tarantella dancing. The word tarantula is most often used for the very large furry spiders of the family. So the venom itself is very low, has a very low toxicity for humans. Okay. The dancing thing. Okay, we'll go with the dancing.
You have been bitten by a tarantula. Its venom
Tarantula,
has been creeping throughout your body, provoking the wanton laughter
Tarantula.
and dancing you're experiencing. The tarantula is a rare spider from foreign climes. Doubtless it travelled with you from Venice, hiding itself among your belongings.
Aye, doubtless you are right this time.
The venom may be expelled from the body using a combination of heat and music. I advise you to have a lutenist come by your house to sing and play for you while you bide near the fire. But take care not to insult the musicians playing, for whilst you will find it most loathsome, 'twill only be on account of the venom.
Molto bene, Signor Foreman. I will do as you advise. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Dancing madness. Yeah, a lot of dancing stuff in the Middle Ages. Like the dancing mania and stuff. How did Mr. Foreman know of this rare illness? It seems as if he has at least some learning.
Why does this lady feel confined? Mayhap the world is too unkind. Nay, doctor, medicate her mind.
Medicate her mind.
Pray cure this comely
Lady.
Good day to you, madam.
Yes. Good day, Mr. Foreman. Pray tell, is your Venetian querent Riccardo Ferraro one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Nay, Signor Ferraro has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Foreman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed, 'tis quite the reverse. He is oft rendered all the more loquacious, plaguing her with ill-formed metaphors he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds to happier thoughts. I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lanier, for which I must congratulate you. And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
I was, as you correctly judged.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the subject of my husband, Dr. Foreman.
As it pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I oft feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son. Methinks I must have some kind of disease.
I see. Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Lanier?
The querent is troubled with an excessive choleric temperament. It is associated with an excessive yellow bile. Sufferers exhibit an aggressive and opinionated nature. She's pretty close to that. What about this one? The querulent suffers from phlegmatism. It is a temperament associated with an excessive phlegm, characterized by stoicism and stubbornness. Is she stoic? No, no. The querent suffers from melancholy, being an excess of black bile. No, she's not melancholic. Phlegmatic. She is a bit aggressive and opinionated. I'll go with this.
You are afflicted with a choleric temperament, madam.
I see. And what treatment can you give me for it?
Before we speak of treating your condition, madam, I think it wise we determine what has provoked it. You did express a desire not to speak of your husband, and I cannot help but think that such a reluctance reveals where the source of your troubles might lie, to wit, within your marriage. Would I be right in thinking this? I do not wish to cause you distress, madam, but as a doctor, I do feel I must press you in case it is relevant to your troubles.
My marriage is not a happy one, Dr. Foreman. Mr. Lanier and I do not agree on matters of money and strong drink.
I see. And what are your opinions on these subjects?
That he spends all our money on strong drink. He disagrees.
And your husband cannot be brought around to see your point of view, nor you his, I presume.
Nay, indeed not. 'Tis not a disagreement over what caused the fall of the Roman Empire, Dr. Foreman.
Ah, yes. I see what you mean. Well, mayhap I am not able to help you with your marital woes, but I can prescribe a treatment to help minimize their effect on your body. I will give you a list of herbs to acquire. You must boil them in water and drink of the infusion.
Maidenhair, oregano, wormwood, licorice, and fennel.
Maybe she just
Dr. Foreman. I shall at once
drink of the strong drink and should be fine too. Why not? Not a happy customer. Mayhap it is well to speak of my feelings after all. I must own I feel a little better for it. Sir, I thank you for your recent inquiry with regards to obtaining a license to practice medicine. I note from our records that you terminated your enrollment at our institution some years ago on the grounds of insufficient funds. Whilst we don't ordinarily issue medical licenses to men who have not first completed a medical degree, proof of equivalent professional experience in the form of letters of recommendation may be taken into consideration. A minimum of 8 such letters of recommendation is customarily required. I advise you to write to us against once you have obtained the requisite number of letters. John Corwell, Vice Chancellor, University of Cambridge. So we need 8 letters. Foreman's is now the patient. Okay.
Ah, my dear Avis, what a pleasure it is to see you. I have oft thought of our last...
I cannot tarry long. My husband will be expecting me home.
Of course. But, dear lady, is something the matter?
Of course. Do not all your querents come with a matter they wish an answer to?
Well, yes.
I wish to ask of the stars whether a man I am close with, a man who is not my husband, whether that man be also close with another woman.
A man you are... I see. Well, if I am to judge the stars for you, I must ask you to be more precise. In what sense do you mean close? The platonic bond of friendship?
Nay, close in the sense of being intimate.
I see. Then 'tis the familial tie of kinship, perchance.
Nay, I mean someone with whom I have shared physical relations.
Verily, madam, if I am to give you an accurate reading, you must state your question clearly.
Methinks you know full well what I ask. I bid you ask the stars whether my lover is, that is to say, be it true that he engages with another woman in acts of strumpy-humpy.
Madam, you astonish me. It is unlike you to speak such indelicate words. Now, if I understand you correctly, you have a lover, and you wish to know whether he has been sharing his tender favours with another woman.
Aye, but did I not verily say so?
And now that we have at last fathomed your question, let us read the stars to fathom an answer. Has Mistress Allen's lover been unfaithful to her?
Mean what? Mistress Helen's lover is seeking a woman who is willing to be able to marry him. She wishes to continue his family line. Legacy. Mistress Allen no longer pleases her lover. The spark has been lost. Mistress Allen's lover wishes to father a child. This consultation will provoke unexpected intimacy between me and Alvis. Mrs. Allen should be more optimistic about her romance with this man. Mrs. Allen's mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Look, we'll take this one.
The stars are most clear, madam. Your lover has not been coupling with another woman.
He has not.
Forsooth, the stars say that your mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Now, if there is nothing further, madam...
Oh, how relieved I am to hear you say this. Oh, Simon, what a fool I have been not to trust you.
But you... this lover... 'twas me all along? You were not speaking of some other man?
I beseech you, pardon me, Simon. I had to know the truth from the stars, for I did hear tell of other women.
But how could you not see? No other woman is to me so dear, and verily is it not clear to you that I...
Do you verily, Simon?
Oh, my dear.
Verily. Okay. Coitus post consultatio. Once again. No. You have received a letter of recommendation. Well, here's nice. Humped my way to a letter of recommendation. Verily, it was very wrong of me to doubt him so. Captain Fortescue sends. Sybil Fortescue. Okay.
Good morrow, madam. I humbly welcome you to my consulting chambers and thank you for choosing my practice. Mistress...
Fortescue. Mistress Sybil Fortescue.
Well then, Mistress Fortescue, what may I assist you with this day?
I come upon a most troubling matter, sir. I know not whether it is a medical matter or something else.
I see. Pray describe your trouble to me, madam.
Well, I suppose it all began with a dinner I hosted at my house last even. Mayhap you have heard of my dinners, Dr. Foreman. They are much talked about. Though I fear last evening's dinner will be talked about for all the wrong reasons.
Talked about, you say?
Yes. Indeed, invitations to my dinners are much sought after, for I host the most desirable of guests. Lords, bishops, poets, explorers, painters, and the like. Why, last eve I hosted the famous Robert Lord Devereux, the playwright William Shakespeare, and the Bishop of London and his wife. As well as fascinating conversation, at my table I served the very latest and most original dishes. Last even, I served an exotic green vegetable called a potato. So crisp and refreshing. My dear husband sent them home to me from the New World. Doubtless you have heard of my husband, Captain Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
I see. Your dinners do sound most excellent, Mistress Fortescue. But what occurred at last eve's dinner that has you so distressed?
Well, in truth, 'twas after dinner. We all felt a strong desire to take some air, and so we left the table to take a turn in some pleasure gardens nearby. But then, as we were walking along the path, right in the middle of the gardens, in full public view...
Pray do not distress yourself, madam. Prithee, take your time.
My guests and I were, all of a sudden, stricken with pain. We began chundering and voiding from our... But there was nowhere to turn, you see. There were no bushes close by to shield our modesty. 'Twas unspeakable.
A moment, madam, as I note this down. Abdominal pain and simultaneous upward and downward purging of a most sudden and violent nature. Now, let us see how these stars explain this most distressing and unsavory event.
What? They didn't cook the potato?
And her guests last eve.
Did they eat it raw? Abdominal pain, chundering. I had no idea of this word before this game. Chundering. Mistress Fortescue is troubled with wandering hands. What? Has been taken with child. Oh no, with chilly cold. Derp. Evil digestion. Where? This is pretty close. Evil digestion.
Madam, I think you said the New World vegetables you dined upon were green in colour, did you not? And you described them as crisp and refreshing, I think. I take it then that you serve them to your guests green and raw?
Raw.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Most of the potatoes my husband sent me
Did
were
not
full,
cook
dull
them.
and unhealthsome in appearance. Hence I served only the green ones. I had my cook cut them in such a way as to resemble roses. 'Tis the way I oft serve my apples.
Ah, then your trouble was a severe case of evil digestion. I have read that these vegetables can be noxious if they turn green.
Oh, my days! Do you mean I poisoned my guests?
In a manner of speaking, aye. But worry not, madam, for the suffering was but temporary. Indeed, it does sound as if the bodies of your guests were most comprehensively purged of the poison. However, in future, be sure to cook the potatoes until they are soft, and pray do not eat the ones that have turned green.
As God shall mend me! What a shameful affair this has been! I shall go home and, well, I shall write to my husband and ask that he includes cooking instructions with the next gift of food that he sends me. I thank ye and bid ye good day, Dr. Foreman.
Did not cook the potatoes. That just reminds me. I had I did at my work an older gentleman. He used to tell us stories about the first time he had a banana. He got some for his mother, and I don't know. I guess his mother bit into the banana, not peeling it, and then threw it to the dogs. And she complained to her son that not even the dogs would eat that shit. Something like that. Don't need no bananas. What a fine-looking young man Dr. Furman has for a manservant. Yes, indeed I do.
Here comes a literary mind, one such as we do rarely find. Just needs a man to be behind, for she's but a lady.
Yeah, bananas was pretty rare around here. I only used to have them at Christmas. And, yeah. Just needs a man to be behind, for she is but a lady. Okay.
Good even, Miss Lanier. What brings you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Foreman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam? A writer of poems and of plays? Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Well, 'tis true most of us Basanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S. He is presently writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of Italian heritage, he has asked me to help him write it.
How interesting. And does this collaboration betwixt you go well?
Right well, or so methinks. Indeed, Mr. S did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me. For once our play opens upon the London stage, our success will follow, as night follows day.
I see. Then
Ah.
what would you have me ask the stars,
Mr.
madam?
Shakespeare.
Well, I've noted that Mr. S, although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of his, of our future success, is true.
Very wise of you, madam. Then let us see whether your success or failure is writ in the stars. Will Mistress Amelia Lanier find fame and fortune as a writer?
Yeah, she will not, but Mr. S will. Always helps to cut something in half to see what's inside, I guess. That's a good strategy. That is a good strategy. Although there's some... So the last weird fruit I ate, I think it was called jackfruit or something. And you eat the flesh that is holding the seeds, but it's a weird thing. Mr. S. Mr. Mystery. WS. The stars urge Mrs. Lanier to be more sensitive to the needs of her child. The house warns of a legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. And that will happen. This speaks of Mr. S indulging in creative theft. Probably. Okay. If Mrs. Lanier maintains optimism, her ambitions will be realized. Not only will she be successful, her work will lead to transformative and surprising political changes. Mrs. Lanier and her writing partner work well together. They might well work together, but and this is true, right? Transformative stuff. But he will get all the things. C or A. I'm almost tempted to put A because, you know, Mr. Shakespeare has to write that damn The Merchant of Venice, probably, right? That's what his probably, that's the play she's talking about. Let's go with C.
Madam, the stars tell of a great deceit against you. They suggest that your collaboration with Mr. S puts you at risk of, let me see here, creative domination and theft. The result being that you will reap little from your collaboration with Mr. S, but feelings of bitterness and jealousy.
I cannot believe this of Mr. S. He is a right honourable man. I cannot believe such compelling insights into the human condition could be writ by such a knave as you describe. To be sure, he does oft indulge in wordplay for its own sake, thus cheapening and unnecessarily prolonging a scene. But nay, he is not a bad man. I know you mean well, Dr. Foreman, but I believe your judgment of the stars must be wrong on this occasion.
Okay. So I should have indulged towards the... okay. Maybe she'll come back around after the next one. I mean, you are playing the long game, right? There are like more consultations with her. There should be... Unless she doesn't come back. But apparently she will.
Mistress Avis Allen, the love of Foreman's life, how futile 'tis to fall for another man's wife.
Yeah, we already know the future. Who is she to tell us otherwise? Indeed. We already got her letter of recommendation. Why do we keep talking to her?
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
'Twas my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of... As I say, he had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see. Then what is troubling your husband? Madam, I cannot treat a querent without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
I see. And whatever does that mean? Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he is neglected to fix? Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
You know perfectly well what I mean, Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
Cold in the heart. Okay. Suffers from crick in the back. It's causing him pain in the hips, making it difficult to perform duties around the house. Suffers from loss of carnal lust. Well, this should be it. Right.
Your husband is suffering from a lack of sanguinity in the brain, which has resulted in a loss of carnal lust. According to my chart, there is little hope of remedy.
Verily, no hope at all.
Nay, I'm afeard not.
Oh, then Mr. Allen is not, cannot be a full husband to me. At least not in the full, true sense of being a husband.
Precisely so. And as a physician, it behoves me to observe how unnatural and lamentable it is that a wife be so neglected.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, my darling Avis.
Once again, some of the coitus. Okay. I shall say 100 Hail Marys before bed. This evening, nay, 200. That's a lot. That is a lot.
What doctors against him do make war? Doctors against him do make war. He makes love without a care. 'Tis true, Avis is not his, my lord. But in love and war is fair. But in love and war is fair.
Okay. Let's see.
Last even, 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for... Nay, 'tis most unlikely. Or is it? Forsooth, there be no harm in asking the stars. Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
Avis Allen's loyalties lie with her family. Avis has betrayed her marriage vows. The damage this has wrought upon her marriage cannot be undone, and her past cannot be erased. I must be optimistic, for Mr. Allen will suffer ill luck and die. Avis will then be free to marry me. Okay. I'm not seeing things clearly. If I knew the truth about our relationship, I would presently be seething with jealousy. Avis is cunningly hiding a secret from me. It's C or A. It's probably C. No, B. B. Yeah, we'll go with B.
It says Avis is one day to be widowed, which will, of course,
Go
be
with the
very
stars
tragical,
killing. Yeah,
but
that's what I went
after
with.
the reading is done, we will marry. She will be Mistress Foreman. Mistress Avis Foreman.
Okay. Okay, does him an evil.
Good day, Dean Blogg. Fare you well?
Most well indeed, and I will tell you why. The conquering cherub has lately returned home to England.
Ah, this being the voyage you did invest in.
Aye, and what a sound investment it was, for it has paid off most handsomely. The cherub's cargo of nutmeg and pepper will fetch a high price indeed. Forsooth, my earnings have enabled me to make a substantial investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World.
Ah, methinks I've heard of this. 'Tis a quest to find the fabled lost city of gold, is it not? Or, as the Spanish call it, El Dorado?
The very same, for it is said that El Dorado does lie deep within the rainforests of the southern parts of the New World, hiding vast quantities of gold and precious jewels. Hence, what I would have you tell me is, exactly how rich can I expect to be made from my investment?
I see.
For if I am to be made very rich, I am afeard that news of my fabulous wealth may cause some jealousy among the clergy. News travels fast around the diocese, and I think it wise to get ahead of it if I can.
Then let us consult the stars. What will become of Thomas Blogg's investment in
Finding
Walter
El
Raleigh's
Dorado.
quest to find El Dorado?
Does that guy die trying to find El Dorado? I guess there are more people trying to find it, right? Blake's finances will bring him unhappiness. The expedition will encounter foreigners who are stubborn, confident, and led by instinct. Blake business partners will be met with violence. Yeah. There is cause for pessimism and a surprising reversal to save the lives of children. What? Blake will be able to leave his children a legacy of fine things. God rewards exploration. What's with the children part? Whose children? We'll go with A.
I have ill tidings for you, Dean Blag. Raleigh and his men have been set upon by a tribe of angry New World natives.
Angry natives? But surely the natives would greet us with much rejoicing. For do we not bring with us the gift of civilization? Would they not crave freedom from their tyrannical chieftains and cruel pagan gods?
Well, it would seem these particular natives cannot be reasoned with, as they are led by instinct alone, and they will fight to the last man, as it is not in their nature to surrender with honor, as Christian men would.
Truly? But...
Alas, I am afeard that Raleigh shall be forced to abandon his search for El Dorado, and your investment will come to naught.
I must own, sir, that I cannot share your uncharitable view of these savages. They may be heathens, but are they not still God's children? I will now take my leave, that you may engage in quiet reflection upon the spiritual dimensions of this question.
I don't think he liked this answer either. Okay. But if my forecoming comes true, mayhap I invest in tulip bulbs. Oh no. From bad to worst. Ferraro.
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Dottore Simon Foreman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, way down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Damn.
Poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
He's pooping blood? Jesus, that can't be good. Signor Ferraro suffers from jaundice, a blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck that has caused choler to pool in his head, turning his face yellow. Now, hemorrhoids, well, which are swellings in the anus and rectum. Blind hemorrhoids can cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. Well, at least it's nothing more serious than that.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month. To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure that is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, Signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids.
Jesus!
You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Foreman.
What the fuck? Okay. A textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays. He's not that easily impressed. Oh, she came back. Even the verses make fun of it. Okay.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main, for I'm happy to report that you were quite wrong in judging that collaboration with Mr. S would fare ill, for in sooth 'tis going exceeding well. Verily, Dr.
Really?
Foreman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
Okay.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity
It's
of this
Mr.
man
Ferraro.
who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
A prowler is a man of authority and a master of wit. Mrs. Lanier considers him a friend. The prowler harbors undeclared feelings for Mrs. Lanier. Ah. Okay. It's master of wit and authority. Could it be Mr. S? Mrs. Lanier is suffering from a mental confusion owing to her religious beliefs. She also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust towards prospective romantic partners. The prowler is a violent husband. The prowler hopes for a reversal of ill luck he has had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope that she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. This might be it. The husband. But why prowl at night? No, it's this one. Yeah, I'll go with C.
The stars suggest that your prowler is a man with a talent for wit, a man who secretly harbors amorous feelings towards you. Does that sound like anyone you know, madam?
Dr. Foreman, I find your question most illogical. I cannot know of a man who harbours secret feelings for me, for indeed, if I were to know of them, the feelings would not be secret.
Yes, well, let me put it another way. Your friend, Mr. S, is the keen-witted man who furtively admires you. He is your prowler, madam.
Mr. S is my prowler, you say? Why, Dr. Foreman, what is in you? For indeed 'tis not the first time you have cast shade upon the character of Mr. S. I bid you, sir, check the stars again.
Is it not the most likely explanation, though, madam?
I assure you there is nothing likely about the unique relationship betwixt me and Mr. S. Indeed, he has too much respect for my literary mind to use me so ill. For his is a noble intellect that allows him to soar above the baser instincts of lesser men. Now, if you will not judge the stars again for me, I will bid you good day, Dr. Foreman.
Well, that was a minus again. We shall see what the future holds. Dr. Foreman does not understand how unlike we artists are to common folk.
Hear ye, Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary Treasure City. Rumours say next rally voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Wright's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. Well, at least not a clusterfuck. Besides Rake's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold raised from the legendary city, it is said that Rake's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction to be somewhat testy.
Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
Okay. I think she was the one that we said not to marry the dude because he's going to die, right?
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes, let me see now.
3 years ago.
Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did verily die of his cardiac passion, mere months after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor.
Vipers in his undergarments.
There, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for
Well, at least I was right.
Indeed, Dr. Foreman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew. And John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man.
Oh, Jesus.
Dr. Foreman, you must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
Another old age case. Cardiac passion. Is troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness in the throat. John Delamere has been bewitched. Suggests the possibility of death. I don't know. She gave me no clues for this one. Bewitched. The hell is that? A throat? Just like a mild thing. The other guy died from this, apparently. Let's go with Bewitched. It's the weirdest one.
Mistress Delamere, the news is very grave. The stars tell of your husband being under the spell of a witch. Know you of a woman in your husband's circle suspected of being a witch? A disgruntled sister left penniless by feudal inheritance laws, perchance? Mayhap a local cat enthusiast, or a Scottish neighbour.
Nay, as true as I live, sir, I do not.
Scottish neighbour.
But I will be sure to make inquiries. Good day, Dr. Foreman.
Oh, this is going to end up badly. It went down? Oh, come on. I was right about her husband. Shame. Okay.
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
I did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
This isn't looking good. Future
Will you
tales.
describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere. All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes, moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth, laughing most immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table. I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Such an immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Foreman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil, a gift from my sweet husband sent back from his explorations in the Near East. I did mention my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before, I think. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh, Henry and Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
Yet you were not so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least, for I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room, and that I had been bewitched. Could it be true, Dr. Foreman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
And she was paranoid.
Have to ask the stars, madam.
Love.
Let us see.
Okay.
What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
It was the damn oils. She keeps eating and consuming strange stuff. Troubled by melancholy, a condition characterized by lethargy, anxiety, and sadness. It's been bewitched. Troubles from smoke inhalation. Yep. It's the one.
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments, to wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose?
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir. Indeed, 'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner. God give you good morrow, Dr. Foreman.
Good morrow. Well, that was okay. Ooh, pretty close to recommendation from her.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bed? Or will Mistress 'Mistress Allen slap him round the head.
Good day, Mistress Allen. What brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
Aye, for I am most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
By my troth, Pray tell me of this evil that affrightens you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the night, and once I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
Oh, it's the lady. The spying lady.
Do you not recognize his face or any other particulars?
The neighbor
colour of his
lady.
hair, for instance?
Oh, nay, for 'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over.
What is he? The guy.
He says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is
What if
sinister?
I'm the guy?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars. Who is the man prowling outside the Allen's house in the night, and what is his purpose?
Avis is mine, she must rein in her behavior. Not only does Avis have a deceptive nature, she is obsessed with romance and has a preference for younger men. So many prowlers and windows. Yeah, everybody has a prowler. And at night, when they don't see shit, Avis risks of being punished by God for her freaking comings and goings from her house. The intimate relation between Avis and I is changing. The Prowler is a mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the Allens. I guess we'll go with B.
The stars suggest the Prowler is a secret foe of your husband. Does Mr. Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The Prowler, 'tis you!
Me? How now, madam? What an outlandish notion.
So you would deny it? That you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got it all.
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
I prithee, madam, put that down. Put it...
Ah!
Fie, madam. That was a priceless Venetian vase.
Okay. Fie, if I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go and... Nay, methinks I had best not tell Mr. Allen. Ooh, a new guy. Robert Devereaux. Lately returned from his conquests in Spain. Okay.
Good day, sir. How may I? By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, the hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, Sirrah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querent.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
Oh, indeed, my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh, but your most glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on every street corner in London.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord? I fear I do not grasp your meaning. If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction, but I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
They always... what was it? Syphilis, I think. They always called it by their enemy's name. So most of the people used to call it the French disease, if that's what he's implying. Gonorrhea. Okay. Troubled by love? No. Evil digestion? No. Is gonorrhea. So it's not syphilis. I guess gonorrhea is the Spanish disease and syphilis is the French disease. Very well.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh? Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this gonorrhea be cured?
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed, which is why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder job, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day. Please come again. If you need anything
I don't
at all,
think that...
I am at your service.
Don't think stuff like that would help. Very well. Robert Devereux. He was very impressed, but I have a feeling he'll come back with that.
Watch another Hades, watch her night and day. If a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news, at least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
How very wondrous. And, have you any idea of who might...
Aye, verily, with child, but I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
She didn't say any symptoms. She will experience some bad luck miscarriage. She's with child, but it will die. Ugh, not good. The father of the unborn child is a strong young man that she's romantically involved with. That's because it is me and she hasn't been sleeping with her husband. Evil angels are confusing Miss Allen with a few months. It will come clear that she's not with the child. Should feel optimistic about the relationship between Avis and me. Miss Allen is untrustworthy and creative when it comes to her marital duties. Miss Allen is aging. That decreases her chances of being with child. Miss Allen's family thinks she's lazy. We'll go with B.
Madam, the stars confirm that you are indeed with child, and that the father is...
Oh, joy! Simon, is it not wondrous? You and I are to be blessed.
Hold. I am not finished. The stars also reveal the identity of the father.
There is no need to read the stars for that, for surely 'tis obvious that you...
Prithee, admit it. You have been coupling with my manservant, William.
I warrant the stars say nothing of the sort.
See here, in my chart. 'Tis plain as day. In the house of children, alongside Venus, there is the planet Mars. Who else but William could that be?
But such scribblings of yours, they mean nothing to me. For all I know, you make up those stories about planets and houses and such. Why, verily, perchance you might draw up a new chart, Simon. One that tells of how the planet Avis is no longer in the House of Foreman.
You would mock me, madam? You would make a jest of my... Oh, I see. Leaving now, are you? Then you do so. You leave. I bid you good day.
She went into the floor. Okay. We will see her once more, according to this.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth. Buy herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Rich but not satisfied, mishap you have not tried. This one weird trick for displaying your wealth. Buy my herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health. I like it. I like this one.
Good even, sir. Who do I have the pleasure of welcoming to my chambers this day?
Nicholas Muggs, proprietor of Muggs Rugs down on Silver Street.
Ah, the wig makers. You supply wigs to players, do you not? I have heard tell of your fine work from some of my playhouse querents.
I thank ye for your kindness, sir. I do hear you are very skilled at your trade also. For are you not the curer of the plague of 92? Forsooth, I do hope you may cure me as well. For though I do not think I have the plague, whatever I have is doubtless most grave, no matter what my wife thinks.
And what is it your wife thinks?
It be her mind that I have taken naught but a chilly cold in the head. But 'tis not so, Dr. Foreman, for I ache all over. My throat is grown sore, and I cough day and night.
Day and night, you say?
Verily.
I see. Then let us consult the stars. What does ail Nicholas Mugg?
Hypochondria. Possibly induced by witchcraft. This condition could one day prove fatal. Hypochondria? Really? Okay. Cold in the head, the symptoms of which include a cough, short-windedness, a hoarse throat, pain throughout the body. Cardiac passion. No, so it's either A or B. It's probably this one. But we'll go with the hypochondria, right? He's hypochondriac.
I'm sorry to confirm that your condition is indeed most grave.
Oh, most grave, you say?
I am afeard so, for it seems you have been stricken with a bout of hypochondria. 'Tis a disease of the mind that provokes delusions of illness in the sufferer, whilst he is, in truth, in a state of perfect health. My chart indicates that in your case it is so severe it may one day prove fatal.
What is it that you call it? I must own, sir, that though I understand little of what you say, by your tone methinks you do trifle with me. And to think that folks say you be different from other doctors. Well, sir, I will not tarry, for I see I do waste my time here.
So I guess you have to tell them what they want to hear. I will now go to the apothecary. To a tincture of herbs. An apothecary may always be counted to sell a man a cure.
Robert Lord Devereux's a rising star, dashing and debonair, he will go far. Oh, London greets him with cries of huzzah! In truth, we cannot state how smitten we are.
Good day, my lord. How may I do you service? Would it pertain to some thrilling adventure upon which you may soon be embarking?
Indeed it does. Sir Walter Raleigh and I did recently come across some intelligence concerning a fleet of Spanish ships that will soon be sailing home from the New World, bearing a goodly cargo of gold. Raleigh and I plan to borrow the royal fleet, which we will use to intercept the ships and seize the treasure.
Huzzah! But, borrow the Royal Navy, you say?
Aye, only temporarily, of course. The Queen will hardly know her ships are gone. Indeed, when we return them to her bearing a handsome prize of Spanish gold, she will doubtless forgive our failure to file the correct paperwork and whatnot.
Doubtless. And how may I assist your lordship in this glorious endeavour?
Well, in order to intercept the Spanish fleet, we must know which route it is planning to take. One possibility is that it returns to Spain having retrieved the gold from the New World's southern continent. The other possibility, and this is the one Sir Walter thinks most likely, is that the gold has already been transported by conquistadors from the southern continent up to Havana, and the ships are to fetch it from there.
Then let us see whether the stars can tell us upon which route the treasure ships may be intercepted on their return to Spain from the New World. Will they be sailing from the southern continent or from the Spanish colony of Havana?
No clue, but we'll go with what Sir Walter thinks, right? Maybe? Women factor in the Spaniards' travel plans. Devereux should trust his friend Rale's instincts. Sailors hide a shameful secret that relates to a lack of self-control. The crew of the Spanish ships happened upon the gold by conquering and killing its owners. That's true. Though the conquering of foreign people, the King of Spain is establishing a fine cultural legacy for future generations. What now? So one tells us the direction and the other one tells us totally different. We'll go with this one.
The stars are of the same mind as your friend Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, for regardless of where the Spaniards load their ships with gold, they will stop at the port of Havana. It seems the Spanish sailors will be unable to calm their carnal desires.
Excellent, excellent. But where are we to intercept them? Pray, give me the precise day, latitude, and longitude.
Certainly, my lord. But divining nautical coordinates is a somewhat lengthy and complex process. If your lordship would kindly return in an hour or so.
Quickly, sir! I have not the time to bide here all day.
Well then, let me see now. Taking into account the position of Jupiter, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yes. The Spanish treasure ships may be intercepted upon the 15th day of October at a latitude of 9 and 40 degrees north and 5 and 20 degrees west, or thereabouts. That said, however, I cannot promise you that...
Excellent. Raleigh and I shall sail to this very spot. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Godspeed, my lord.
What? Okay. Didn't get the recommendation. I wished I would just got it and get it over with, because this guy's going to come back pissed. Oh, that's very fishy. Yeah. Oh, Blake. That's like the dude. The minister's daughter or something? Sister, maybe?
Good evening to you, madam. How might I...
Hi. Pray go tell your master, Mr. Foreman, that Mistress Alice Blagg is come to see him.
Ah, Mistress Blagg. It is I, Dr. Simon Foreman, at your service. And what an honour it is to welcome the wife of the Dean of Rochester to my humble practice. To whom do I owe my thanks for having recommended you to my care?
Well, I will not lie. You owe your thanks to nobody. For folk do tell me that you are not a real doctor, but a quack, who does conjure demons and dabbles most unlawfully in the dark arts.
I do assure you, madam, that whatever you may have heard, I am
Yea, do not quibble, sir. If I did seek the counsel of a doctor who has one of those fancy medical degrees, of the kind of high-bred know-it-all who does see fit to judge a woman and vex her most cruelly, I would have gone elsewhere. But, truth be told, I have need of such a man as you, for I have been bewitched by a witch.
Ah, I see.
Yea, a loathsome spell has been cast upon me. It does cause me to awaken in the morning with a most terrible pain in my head, a pain so wretched it does have me chundering into my chamber pot.
Pain in the head and involuntary purging. And what leads you to believe your suffering is occasioned by witchcraft?
Well, the timing is most unnatural. My troubles do occur every Saturday morning without fail. I suspect the doings of our new neighbour, the widow
Saturday
McDoon. As well as being Scottish, she does possess several cats.
Several cats, you say?
One or two of which I may have kicked, and now she has seen fit to take revenge upon me with her dark,
Is she like
foreign magic.
Saturday
Indeed,
drinker?
Scotland is well known for the powerful black witchcraft practiced by its womenfolk. But as compelling as this evidence may be, my practice does draw upon the latest scientifical arts. To diagnose your condition, I must first perform a rigorous astronomical analysis. So, let us see now, what do the stars say is the cause of your Saturday morning suffering?
Friday drinking? Noxious food or drink. Okay. Bewitched. With child. No, I think it's the drink.
Madam, may I delicately inquire as to whether it be the habit of you and your husband to take wine with supper? On Friday evenings, perchance? Drinking a little overmuch on occasion is nothing to be ashamed of. Many of my most respectable querents do find that a fine French claret can be deceptively...
Oh, nay, more's the pity. My husband is a tiresome teetotaler who prefers to spend his evenings writing sermons and counting coin.
Teetotaler?
He hardly ever accompanies me to the tavern on Fridays.
Does he not? Well, in any case, I am much afraid that the ale you do consume upon these tavern visits may be to blame for your affliction. The consumption of strong drink can provoke an excess of black bile, which then does cause the body to purge itself the following day. I do advise you to consider...
Then I am not bewitched. But if that be true, then to poor Molly McDoon I have been most rude and unneighbourly. For shame. I must go to her this hour and apologise. Fare you well, Mr. Foreman. I must bid you good day.
Okay. Drinky. I will invite my Scottish neighbour to take a conciliatory pint of ale with me. Aye.
Beware conspirations, plots and machinations, the schemes of big physic to sell you their wares. Their cures to us violent, but they call it science. They mock our beliefs and belittle our fears.
Big physics.
Well met, Mr. Mugg. You seemed displeased following our last consultation. In truth, I am surprised to see you again.
Doubtless you are. You were very wrong to tell me I had, what was it again? Hyperdiarrhea or some such?
Hypochondria, as I recall.
Hyperdiarrhea.
Yea, I am come again, for it seems you have won the heart of my wife, and she will not hear of me seeing any other doctor henceforth.
Verily. Your wife's endorsement does me honour, sir. So, what brings you this day? For in sooth you look most well.
Well? Mayhap I look well now, but 'twill not be for long. I have been poisoned.
Poisoned? By the saints! Who is the author of this foul deed?
My friend George Sprottle, the bookbinder. I did dine with him not 2 hours ago.
I see. A bout of evil digestion. Pray tell, was there turned meat or some such at table?
Nay, not meat. 'Twas a pie full of cherries. I had a bite of it afore I knew what I was eating.
Cherries, you say?
Aye, cherries. And this after I took particular care to give Mistress Sprottle a list of foods I must not eat. I added cherries to the list when I did hear that the Countess of Devonshire has declared against their noxious qualities.
The Countess of Devonshire, you say? Noxious qualities, indeed. And now your symptoms, Mr. Mugg. Had you any reaction after eating these cherries?
My reaction? Well, I reacted as any man would. I spat them out. And know you what Mr. Sprottle did then, Dr. Foreman?
Nay, but pray tell.
He did laugh at me. He even called me a dinner-ralphing fusspot. Fie, I may soon be in the grave, thanks to George. Will he still be laughing then?
Well, let us not speculate, shall we, Mr. Mugg? Now, let us see what the stars may tell us. What ails Nicholas Mugg?
He is definitely a hyperdiarrhea guy. Hypochondriac. Splenetic occasion with rancorous behavior. Cherry poisoning. Let's just tell him what he wants to hear. Fine.
It seems you have indeed been poisoned. The cherries have provoked an imbalance of choler. You must take the antidote for cherry poisoning, which is... let me see what I have here in my cabinet. Yes. Saccharum officinarum. Dissolve a pinch of these crystals on your tongue before dinner for a week.
Saccharum?
Saccharum officinarum, more commonly known as sugar.
Sugar, forsooth. I have heard tell of sugar. 'Tis a rare and fine substance, I do believe, and therefore doubtless most efficacious.
Indeed, sugar pills for the win. Yeah, he liked that. I must go to the grocer for the sake the Countess has had a portrait painted in which she sits beside a bowl of grapes. Fap not. Okay. I ruined this song. Let's find another lady and fap not.
William? Ah, there you are. Did Mistress Allen call whilst I was out this day? Nay? You're quite sure about that, are you? Ah, I see. I cannot understand it. Why has Avis not come these past weeks? Does she no longer wish to see me?
Avis' feelings cannot be trusted. She harbors romantic feelings towards another man. Avis does not know who has fathered the child she carries. She knows, though. It is only self-constraint and the sense of duty towards her husband that keeps Avis from calling on me. It was cruel of Avis to allow me to hope that we would be one day together. Avis feels that she has treated her husband carelessly. I have deprived of a tender favor as of late, but my fortune seems to be reversing. I expect to see Avis soon again. Mistress Allen's reluctance to see me is but the legacy of my unpleasant manner towards her in the past, provoked by my suspicious fancies. Yeah, this is the one.
So, 'tis the madness of my love that keeps Avis away. My jealous passions and accusations have vexed her, mayhap even caused her fright. When she comes to see me again, for she surely will, by and by, I must remember to be kinder to her, to not plague her with my suspicions. And until Avis does return, well, there are other women in the world, are there not?
Sir, I must thank you for resolving the misunderstanding betwixt me and my neighbor, Mistress Molly MacDonne. You advised me that my Sunday morning headaches and chunderings were not caused by her witchcraft, but by my consumption of strong drink. You spoke true, and for that I am grateful. Although if Molly was not then the author of my suffering, she surely is now. For since we are become friends, we together go to the tavern every Friday. Your current Alice Blake. She liked it. Okay. Cool, lady.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Much time has passed since I last saw you. How do you fare?
In truth, not well, Dr. Foreman, not well at all.
Then I am full sorry for it, madam. Pray, tell me what manner of ill has befallen you.
First, I must beseech your pardon, sir, for methinks Mr. S. may verily be my prowler after all, as you did surmise.
Ha!
Think nothing of it, madam. But what has made you change your mind about him?
I have been publicly humiliated. Mr. S. has been circulating a collection of insulting sonnets about an unnamed dark lady, and all of London thinks this dark lady is me.
Well, your complexion is rather, that is to
I am described as having foul breath and black wires for hair, though methinks the very worst line is the one that tells of a gross body rising at the utterance of my name. And I cannot abide illusions, Dr. Foreman. If Mr. S. wishes to reference bodily levitation and other such cheap stage magic, he would do well to leave my name out of it. My interest is in the dramatic arts, not fairground attractions.
I am not sure that is quite his meaning.
Dr. Foreman, you know of Mr. William Shakespeare, then? Do not tell me you have read the sonnets.
Well, I own that I have. But as you did remark, madam, all of London has read them.
Oh, well, I am undone. My professional reputation is now utterly spoiled, for now the whole world will look upon me as naught but Mr. Shakespeare's fancy wench. No longer will they judge me on my own merits.
Let us hope it is not as grave as that, madam. Have you discoursed upon the matter with him?
Nay, I dare not confront him about it. For we are almost at an end with our work on a play, and I dare not risk it not being staged.
Then let us see what the stars advise. What may Mistress Lanier do to restore her professional reputation?
Let's see. The relationship with Mr. Shakespeare and Mrs. Lanier is not an equal one. Shakespeare's arrogance will overshadow Amelia's contribution to the play they are writing. Yep. Mrs. Lanier must find a way to disassociate her name from these sonnets, for if she does not, her literary legacy will be betrayed by associations with them. Okay. Mrs. Lanier is confused about her feelings for me. How interesting. What? God help Miss Lanier if she exercises constraint and discipline. Well, that's not it. Mrs. Lanier harbors secret thoughts of adultery, which relates somehow to her intellect and her feelings of distraction. Mrs. Lanier is ignorant of her romantic feelings, and this must be reversed. Should abandon her career ambitions and revert to her true vocation, bringing forth new life. She will have another child. No, I think it's C.
You are right to be concerned about the damage to your reputation, Mistress Lanier, for there is a danger that your partnership with Mr. Shakespeare and his depiction of you in his sonnets will forever overshadow your own literary achievements.
God's womb. But what can I do to forestall such an injustice?
I suggest you spread a rumour of your own about another lady. For instance, there is a brothel owner in Clerkenwell they call Black Luce. If you were to put it about that she is the subject of Shakespeare's sonnets, 'twould do her reputation no harm. Indeed, the effect would be quite the reverse, for doubtless there be many a manor present who would pay handsomely for a tumble with Shakespeare's dark lady.
Well, indeed. I do feel 'tis most important to advance the interests of my fellow women, especially those seeking to make their way in business. Do you see that, Dr. Foreman? 'Tis your mute Italian querent, Signor Ferraro. He is staring at us through the window.
Is he? Then doubtless he has come for another consultation.
So close. Not only shall I rescue my reputation, I shall be a good ally to this. What has her name again? Ah, yes, Black Luce. Cool.
Good day, senor, and well met.
Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Dottore Simon Foreman.
Indeed, I did recognize you, senor. How may I assist you this day?
I am ill. I tell you my problems. First problem, I do make a chandar in the morning. Next problems, my belly does swell and my chest tis a most tender to the touch. And now, for the very most terrible of problems, I have the big fears One moment I do weep, and the next I do curse and gnash my teeth. So, dottore, you tell what ails me, huh?
He's in
You
love.
wanna make a... You wanna make a water into this cup? Un momento, I make the water...
Nay, not in my... prithee, hold. If you please, signor. As with our previous consultations, I shall be judging your illness by reading the stars.
So, you need not my...
Nay, signor, I have no need of it. Whilst 'tis true that most physicians do spy and sniff their patients' urine, I find this method of piss-pot diagnosis most imprecise. Indeed, the practice is quite primitive. 'Tis my belief that if medicine is to advance in this modern age, we must all adopt a more scientifical method. I am quite sure history will bear me out on this question.
This scientifical method. This reading my diagnosis in the stars?
Precisely so. Speaking thereof, perchance we may consult the stars now. What illness troubles Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
He's in love. Is one of these, I'm sure. Apoplexy. A condition of the brain provoked by sudden fit. It afflicts sensory perception and causes swollen neck veins, memory loss, and gashing of the teeth. Signor Ferraro is with child. Sure. That's what it says. Child. Signor Ferraro suffers from muttering of in the breast, which is a gathering of corrupt matter in the chest area occasionally, causing pain in the breast. So we don't have the love part. He did have gushing of the teeth there. We'll put this one.
Worry not, signor. You are merely troubled with a mattering in the breast. I advise you to take to bed and cover yourself with sheets that have been warmed before a fire. But you must not sleep, nor may you eat or drink, for food and drink would serve to increase the corrupt phlegm and matter in your...
Mr. F was a Mrs. F.
Most dottori would say my problems do not match the signs of mattering in the breast. But you, Signor Foreman, are not most dottori, huh? You are genius of the medicine who does find true meaning in the
What,
stars.
you think he's the chick?
For your advice has been most enlightening. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
In disguise? He for sure with child, Lamo. Ah. Interesting. I was thinking he's the... What's her face? The other Italian lady. And she's trying to become a writer and she's, you know. And he did have that bleeding of the lower part. It was hemorrhoids, but you know. He said something like, it's fine, it's like women do it all the time.
Good day, Mr. Mugg. Pray tell, did the matter with the, cherries resolve itself in the end?
Those sugar crystals you gave me did work wondrous well. Verily, Dr. Foreman, methinks you should fashion this medicine into little round pills and sell them by the score. I warrant you would make your fortune.
Yes, if only I could have my querents believe that mere sugar pills were the cure for all their ills, great and small, I would be a very rich man indeed, would I not? And what may I assist you with this day, Mr. Mugg?
I have the spotted fever. I must begin treatment now, or else I will...
Hold, sir. The spotted fever is exceeding rare. Why would you think you have such a disease?
Well, sir, not only am I covered all over in red spots, I have lately taken to chundering, such as are the very symptoms listed in the medical book I did read. I am already taking the treatment Mr. Cogan prescribes, but now I require...
You mean to say you have read Thomas Cogan's Haven of Health? Why, that is a most technical book, writ for doctors and medical students. How did you come to be reading it?
My friend George Sprottle did bind a printing of it in his shop. He kindly let me spy some pages afore 'twas sent up to Cambridge. Oh, but Dr. Foreman, I forget myself. You have no medical degree, so you doubtless have not read it. Mayhap if I ask George nicely...
Sir, let us consult the stars and see if they may tell us what ails you.
Spots and chundering. Induced by the appearance of benign pimples on the privy member. He'll not like that. Evil digestion. No. Has the spotted fever. Very well.
You do indeed suffer from the spotted fever, Mr. Mugg. Now, as to your cure. Aye, it does require some uncommon ingredients that I do not keep here in my chambers at present. A moment, pray, while I write this down. Here, take this recipe to your apothecary and have him make you up a preparation. Take a spoonful each morning until your red spots disappear.
Oh, ground up horns of a deer. And cinnamon, how very fine. And this red coral from the South Seas.
Aye, verily. Nothing but the finest of cures for my loyal querents.
It is just as well for us that I did consult Mr. Cogan's book, is it not, Dr. Foreman? On my word, my wife was very wrong to doubt him.
At least he liked it.
Said so. One thing more, if you please, Dr. Foreman, for I feel I must give you warning. A great storm is coming. I feel it in my bones, and my bones do always speak true. You'll do well to bide indoors at the first sign of wind and rain. God keep you well, Dr. Foreman.
Okay. Bye. Oh, that's a good one.
Good morrow, Dean Blagg. How fare you this day?
Well, Dr. Foreman, I must own that I do not fare well. For my recent investments have left me in a rather vexing financial position.
Verily, that is ill to hear.
Aye, Sir Walter Raleigh's quest for El Dorado failed most woefully, just as you predicted. His ships did return loaded with naught but a few sacks of worthless root vegetables. I cannot fathom it. We are Englishmen. We do not eat vegetables.
Aye, a disappointing outcome indeed.
Oh, but that is all by the by. For you will be pleased to know that I put my remaining fortune into a new venture so assured of success that I will make all my money back and more.
Assured, you say? How very
It's going to be tulips, isn't it?
I have invested in an expedition to intercept a fleet of Spanish ships
carrying
gold back from the New World. For this expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh will be joined by a famous military genius, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. So success is virtually guaranteed.
Indeed.
There is but one small worry, however.
Ah, only one?
Aye. 'Tis that Raleigh and Essex set sail full 2 months past, but there is yet no tidings of them. Such silence is a trifle vexing. Have they yet captured the Spanish treasure ships? Surely no ill has befallen them.
A most vexing mystery indeed. Let us see whether the stars can tell us what has become of this expedition.
Where the hell did I send them? I gave him some coordinates. That was good. The expedition has been endangered by secret information from an untrustworthy authority. Untrustworthy? How dare the stars throw shade upon my honor thus? My skill in reading navigational coordinates in the stars is impeachable. That's his little commentary on the star, what the stars say. Blake has been careless with his financial legacy. Raleigh and Essex are sailing their ships in the wrong direction and will suffer a reversal of fortune. I have no clue. I know the English sunk and captured a few of those gold ships. I don't know about that one particularly. A violent battle is being waged in a foreign clime. God has granted Blake good intuition. The moon shines its benevolent light upon the Blake family fortune. Angel will vest their blessings upon Blake, but he must be patient. Blake is a lazy fantasist who indulges in excessive creative thinking. Like my own. I'll go with C.
Bad tidings for your family's fortune, I fear. The Earl of Essex and Sir Walter Raleigh did sail their fleet into the middle of nowhere, with not a Spanish treasure ship in sight. It would seem their geographical information was at fault, having been obtained from a most unreliable and untrustworthy authority.
Truly, I am ruined. Zoons, my goose is cooked. Mistress Blarg will have me baked into pies.
Well, good day. He didn't like that.
Why must this wench act so distressed? Mayhap she can't abide a jest. No welcome love and his professed.
What an ungrateful lady!
Ah.
What an ungrateful
Lady.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Pray, come in and take comfort by the fire. The wind is fierce and cold this day.
Did you see him this time, Dr. Foreman? He did it again. He ran off the moment he saw me.
See who, madam?
Your patient, Signor Ferraro.
Ah, verily? Indeed, I was expecting him to come for a consultation this day. But he changed his mind and ran off, you say? How very mysterious.
Truly, 'tis as if all men are determined to use me ill.
Surely not all men, madam.
They're always here on the same time.
It does seem that I must beseech your pardon. For some years ago, you rightly foresaw in the stars that my alliance with Mr. Shakespeare would end in theft and deceit. But I would not heed. I have been a fool.
100 out of 100.
My dear lady, I do not
Hopefully she
read
gives us the
stars to
thing.
see that something grave has befallen you. Pray, tell me what it is.
Yesterday I did meet with Mr. Shakespeare to discourse upon our new play, which is to open this week at the theatre in Shoreditch. But though I was determined not to confront him about the sonnets he wrote about me, 'twas difficult to hide the heaviness I did feel in his company.
I can well imagine, madam.
So then, well, he remarked upon my dark humour, to wit, he said to me, "Amelia, your pretty brow does furrow, so I will kiss it smooth."
And I sense that you did not receive this well?
Indeed I did not. Forsooth, I was so enraged by this, I reversed my flagon of ale full over his head.
Ah.
Whereon he rose
flagon
from
of
his
ale.
stool, declaring I was the most ungrateful and unworthy wench in all of Christendom, and then he flew out of the tavern like a bat from out the gates of hell.
A most vivid image, and no doubt most apt. Men who work in playhouses are prone to indulging in such melodrama, of course. Why so many ladies care for such men in preference of those employed in solid, stable professions, I shall never understand.
And if only that were all. For this morning I saw a bill advertising our play posted on a wall in my street. It bears his name and not mine.
Verily? Surely not. Mayhap there has
Yeah.
been some error made.
Nay,
If we know the
Dr.
future,
Foreman,
it will
'tis no
happen.
error, for I rushed to the theatre to see what was amiss, but I was refused admittance. Indeed, the player who came to the door denied all knowledge of my collaboration on the play. Methinks Mr. Shakespeare is exacting his petty vengeance upon me for rejecting his sly suit by denying me credit for my work. And he means to deal with me by pretending I do not exist, as if I were a ghost. Or is it he who has become the ghost? In truth, I am not yet sure how that metaphor should work.
What monstrous perfidy! Pray tell me what I might do to punish this wretched scribbler. Though I am not adept with a sword, I do have a book that instructs in how to command nefarious spirits.
Oh, prithee, sir, I am come not in search of vengeance, but to seek answers. As you know, I have been ill-treated by my husband, and now I am betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. Pray, read the stars and answer me this, Dr. Foreman. Will I ever be able to trust, even love, a man again?
Either Mr. Ferrara there or... I don't know. Let's see. Only one? Holy moly. Amelia's present adversity will bring change and a new life in the form of a child. Mistress Lanier is ignorant of love. She inspires, but her ignorance will be reversed. Amelia's literary legacy has been betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. The relationship betwixt Amelia and me is currently wrought with confusion. Amelia's friends have been unworthy of her confidence. God rewards men who invest time in their friendship with comely women. Amelia's secret wishes is to commit adultery with a man of high intelligence. Amelia should give in to her true feelings. Yeah, it's like the only one we can pick. Oh.
To your question of whether there yet be a man in this world worthy of your trust and affections, forsooth, I have never seen an arrangement of stars that speaks so clearly.
Verily? Then pray tell, what answer does it give?
My dear lady, the answer you seek need not be divined by reading the stars. It may be read in the signs you see before you now. To wit, the answer you seek is right in front of you.
I am afeard I do not follow, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis your feather quill, a half-eaten apple, your desk is a little untidy, and I must confess the symbolism in Flemish still-life painting has always quite confounded me. Take a skull, for instance. What sense does a skull make alongside a bowl of... Below. 'Tis clear to me now, your face was always hid in shadow, but 'tis you, Mr. Foreman. You are the man who has been prowling me these last months.
Dearest, loveliest Amelia, allow me to profess to you my
He's all the prowlers in the game, man.
God's womb, et tu, Dr. Foreman. Fie, you of all men to betray me thus. But 'tis true. I now see the answer. For I know now never again to trust a man to guide me. Henceforth, I shall write under my own name, and when there are decisions to be made, I shall take my own counsel and make my own judgments. Farewell, Dr. Foreman, and clean your desk. Verily, 'tis quite disgusting.
Oh no, it's in the minus. No. Let's see if I still got the thing. Oh no, I didn't get it. Ah! Sucks! I should have let her write the... I didn't even have a choice in this one, last one. Come on! I don't think that's fair, man. I didn't have a choice in the last one. It's like one option. Ah, the backfire. Didn't see that one coming. Game cheats, man. At least give me two options. Jesus. Sir, I must thank you for your diligent care of my husband, Nicolas. Your efforts to disabuse him of his fanciful notions are much appreciated by his family. Please continue to speak true to him, that he may one day come to his senses and peace may be restored to our household. Your querent's ever-loving, suffering wife, Sarah Mugg. I've kind of been indulging in this guy.
Does depend much on his choice of a spouse. He must be consecrated well, no matter the cost to love and to health.
Okay.
Good day to you, young sir, and well met. You are Lancelot Moore of Middlesex, are you not? What an honour it is to welcome a son of the great house of Moore to my humble consulting chambers.
'Tis indeed I, Lancelot Moore. I will own it. But hear this. My family is ignorant of my designs in coming here, and I wish them to remain so. Which is why I come to you, Mr. Foreman, for methinks you are not such a man who would ever find himself in the company of a family such as ours.
Ah, well, you may count upon my discretion, Mr. Moore. And what is the matter that brings you this day?
'Tis that my family wish me to marry my wretched cousin Barbara.
And I take it you would not wish to comply?
Nay, I verily would not. Cousin Barbara is a vile little minx. She loves nothing more than to sport with me and play cruel japes. Last Christmas, she even hid a dead mouse in my mince pie.
The lady does seem most spirited.
The lady? Oh, pish! Cousin Barbara is hardly a lady, for she is not 14 years of age. It is most unnatural to ask a grown man to wed a child.
Indeed it is. 'Tis my belief that in these enlightened times we should consider...
Verily, Barbara be damned. My heart belongs to a true woman, not a freckled, scrawny slip of a girl. A full-blossomed woman.
A woman, you say?
Aye, Marion. My other cousin.
See.
Oh, Marion. So beguiling,
don't marry your cousins, man.
Oh,
Jesus.
to lie, if not to die, in Marion's arms. So soft her lips, so sweet her face. Oh, how I yearn for her embrace. In me she hath such passion stirred, a fever rises in my...
What?
I pray for death, and would be martyred if from her I be thus parted. And so you see, you must help me forestall this wretched marriage, so that I might wed my sweet cousin Marion. Mr. Foreman? Mr. Foreman?
Yes, indeed. Let us see what the stars advise. How might Mr. Moore avoid this marriage to his cousin Barbara?
How about try not to marry your cousins, man? About that. If Moore spreads a rumor about Barbara being sexually active, the marriage plans will be abruptly cancelled. This house suggests Barbara is with child. She may not be as chaste as she seems. Ugh. An appeal to Moore's vanity may induce him to travel abroad. Moore will be able to extract himself from the engagement once he has come of age, has control over his fortune. Moore should betray his family by serving his country. Should go to war. I mean, not go to war, but you know, abroad. Get away from all those cousins. Why does Maud's intuition tell him about this marriage? Wherein lies the key of unraveling his engagement. God's aid will come via cousin Barbara, who is both intelligent and rebellious. Oh. Barbara is secretly unhappy about the marriage. Ah, okay, so C might be a good one as well. I don't like to send him to war. Try C.
It is apparent you do not wish to marry your cousin Barbara, but have you considered whether she wishes to marry you?
Nay, but I cannot think why she would not want to marry me. I am exceeding eligible.
Aye, doubtless you are, Mr. Moore. But do you not think her unkind japes may indicate she harbours some degree of malice towards you?
Mayhap you are right. I did find a toad in my bed Thursday last. 'Tis as if Barbara were possessed by a demon.
Very possibly. And thus possessed, she may
Very
be distracted
possibly.
and not wholly aware of your, fine qualities. I advise you to simply bide your time. For the stars suggest she is a cunning maid who plans to thwart the marriage using a method of her own devising.
Verily? Then I will leave it all to Barbara, as you advise. But it shall be on your head if I'm forced to marry her, Mr. Foreman.
Ah, this is going to end up lovely.
Hear ye! Spanish Armada nears English coast. Nation prepares for invasion whilst Queen searches for missing navy.
I couldn't advise that guy to give back the navy, though. As Spanish ships near our shores, the Queen ground troops prepare for what promises to be a blood-soaked slaughter of Englishmen by continental Catholic savages. With English coasts undefended, experts predict Spanish ships will be sailing up to the Thames to London within days. Sources in the royal court say that Queen is more than a little vexed by the absence of the Royal Navy, which experts described as lost.
Wench, be sure to marry, lest ye be branded a witch. If Mary sees you keeping cats against you, she will snitch. Beware of Mistress Mary Payne, she is a nosy
Fa-la-la-la.
Blessed even, Dr. Foreman.
Mistress Payne, what brings you in such weather? 'Tis most dangerous to be about in it.
Oh, it takes more than a little wind and rain to forestall me from doing the Lord's work. Besides, foul weather is naught but God's righteous vengeance upon London for the sinful debauchery of its inhabitants.
Verily? Then I dread to think what northerners get up to of an evening.
Pray heed me carefully, Dr. Foreman, for 'tis on a most pressing matter that I am come. Doubtless you have heard the news. The Spanish Armada does sail once again towards England's shores. It seems this latest Armada was most unexpected.
Well, as 'tis oft said, no one expects the Spanish Armada.
'Tis very grave this time, for I have heard tell that our own warships are far away at sea, and with our coasts undefended, a Catholic horde may soon be sailing up the Thames to slay us all.
Aye, our situation is most grave indeed. But what would you have me tell you, Mistress Payne?
I wish to know whether the English fleet will arrive home in time to defend our shores, or might we ordinary folk be compelled to take up arms to defend ourselves? Dr. Foreman, are you ready to beat off the Catholics, come what may?
Am I ready to beat off the... Prithee, madam, let us pray the need never arises. Perchance the stars will offer us some reassurance. Will the Royal Naval Fleet return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada?
Were they ever invaded by the Spanish? clue. The Spanish ship fleet will be delayed by the idleness of their sailors. Catholic evil angel wills have their plans thwarted by a deadly, unpredictable event. Okay. Authorities cannot be trusted to uphold their duty to defend ordinary England. Mrs. Payne must rouse her neighbors to take up arms. The Royal Navy is absent due to the recklessness of a misguided pursuit of gold. Ambition will be thwarted by confusion. Unpleasantness will result into a cunning plan to steal goods. What? Steal goods? These stars know what you've done. I'm not going to pick that, man. I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to pick this one. I don't know if they were invaded or not, but we'll pick C.
Be no longer afeard, Mistress Payne. The Spaniards are soon to be thwarted. Although the Armada does near our shores, its progress is slow. For, according to the stars, the sailors are most idle in nature.
Ah, yes, 'tis a trait oft remarked in continentals.
And they will be punished for this sin of sloth, for their lives are soon to be taken by a most deadly event.
Glory be! And what nature of
Well, at
event
least she
might
like
this
that.
be? How will England achieve this glorious victory? A fierce sea battle won by our mighty warships? A triumphant charge of our cavalry brigades?
Well, England will use her... let me see now. Yes, these southern continentals will be struck down by England's most terrifying weapon of all, our lamentable weather. Batten down your hatches and wrap up warm, Mistress Payne. A violent storm is coming.
Okay. We'll see. She was most pleased to hear the news. But if Foreman is be wrong, may God forgive him, for I will not. Oh, Jesus. Mail. Sir, I must congratulate you on the steering counsel you gave in relation to my horrid cousin Barbara, whom my parents did wish me to marry. As you did predict, the wretched little fiend did at length contrive a method to ending our engagement. Nice. It worked out in the end. She has run off with the Earl of Strawsbury. It worked out in the end. It's fine. It's fine.
Take care, for say, did you hear what the Countess says about peas? They corrupt your humors and cause cancer tumors, so doubtless they're causing your current disease.
They corrupt your humors and cause cancer tumors. Jesus. Jesus.
Tomorrow, Mr. Mugg. Back again so soon. And yet your red spots do seem to have faded.
Aye, of the spotted fever I am cured, for, as he remarked, those spots have near vanished and no new ones are appearing. But my wife does swear they were the work of fleas, and she beat the rugs and banished the dogs from the house to rid us of them. She'll be beating and banishing me next if she has her way.
Well, I am glad to hear you are faring better. What brings you this day?
I have a humoral imbalance and need treating for it.
A humoral imbalance, you say? Well, 'tis true that an imbalance of humours can affect a man's mood. For instance, an excess of black bile, which is a cold, dry humour, can provoke feelings of melancholy, whereas yellow bile
is hot and dry. I thank ye for the explanation, Dr. Foreman, but I did learn all about humours when I took supper with my friend, Mistress Ollingworth. She has a humoral imbalance and takes medicine for it. Hence, I am come this day for medicine to treat my own imbalance.
I see. And what mental symptoms are you experiencing? Any unusual or troubling feelings?
Aye, very troubling. Why, I find myself a-fretting and a-pacing all the day long. Even my wife has remarked upon it.
Anxiety and agitation. Pray tell, did these feelings begin before or after you spoke with your friend Mistress Ollingworth?
Let me see now. After, methinks. Aye, after. Why? Does that matter?
Yes, quite possibly. But let us see what these stars do have to say. What humoral imbalance does ail my querent Nicholas Mugg?
Mildly choleric. Humoral imbalance of a choleric can occasionally symptoms anger, impatience, and irritability. Suffering from constipation, a related physical condition. I'll put this one. He likes to hear that he's diseased.
Have you a diagnosis yet? This day I am to dine with Mistress Ollingworth, and I wish to tell her all about it.
Aye, 'tis done. You have a choleric temperament, brought on by a minor imbalance of yellow bile. It does often induce feelings of irritability and impatience in the sufferer, and in severe cases, it can provoke outbursts of anger.
I see. How very interesting.
We must counter the excess of this hot, dry humour with wet and cooling elements. Take this powder of violets and salt and boil it in some water. Then you must drink the infusion once it is cooled.
I thank ye for this medicine, Dr. Foreman. But may I trouble you for twice the dose of it? For if the symptoms be what you say, I think my wife had best be taking it as well.
Oh, 90%, god damn it.
Hear ye! Spanish Armada sunk by English storm! Hear ye!
What about that? That's hilarious. Proving once again that God loves England more than our Catholic enemies, the Spanish naval fleet has been defeated by a mighty storm that has been raging in the English Channel for night on 3 days. What remains of the Armada has fled back to Spain. Beachcombers are advised to wait for the storm to abate before looting corpses that have washed ashore.
Here comes a son of noble birth. Know you how much his father is worth? For such a boy advantage is bought, entitled to much, deserving of naught.
Deserving of naught. Okay.
Oh, sirrah, I have dire need of your counsel.
Pray calm yourself, sir, and tell me of this urgent affair.
Oh, verily, 'tis most urgent. A fair maiden has my heart, a maid with hair of shining gold and eyes so blue the finest sapphires grow pale with envy. But she is a most pious and demure in nature, and has many other suitors. How might I win her favour?
Golden hair? But in our last consultation, let me see here in my notes. Yes, you told me your heart belonged to a maid with hair of onyx black that doth make the finest ebony go grey with envy.
You mean my cousin Marion? Pish! That was naught but a childish fancy. I bid you, Foreman, pray focus on the matter at hand, for if you do not help me win my true love's favour, my bursting heart will tear asunder, my soul will wither unto...
Aye, as you will. Let us see what guidance can be had from the stars. How may Lancelot Moore win the heart of this golden-haired maiden?
The maid's father has a deceitful business partner. Okay. More should lie about the size of his fortune, a trifle task, as such an oversauced peacockle. What a word, peacockle. Moore may win the lady's hand in marriage with jewelry and fine things. It would appear that Moore has a brutish nature. The secret nature is hidden beneath a veil of false religious fervor. A sudden religious conversion is strongly advised. Moore's hopes will be realized, but he must be self-disciplined and patient. He won't go for this. We don't know anything about her secret nature. Or this thing. But, you know, give her some jewelry and stuff. She's not going to go for this one. He should, you know, stop being an asshole. I'll go with B.
This maid does give off an air of piety, but in truth, she is no different from others of her sex. It would seem she hides a secret fondness for jewels and fine nicks and knacks. The stars also indicate that you would do well to make much of your masculine qualities of strength and bravery.
A most excellent plan, Foreman. Mayhap I take my love to the finest bear-baiting ring in London. For there she will see I do never flinch at the sight of blood spilled. And as for fine things, I will impress her by wearing twice my usual number of necklaces and earrings. Verily, I will this very moment go to my tailor to order a much wider ruff.
Indeed. Sure, it's going to work out just fine.
Alice Black, she likes a drink. She does care not what you think. Her head may end up down the sink, but Alice cares not what you think.
Drinky drink.
Good day, Mistress Black. What brings you?
Oh, Dr. Foreman, I have worked myself into such a state that I have urgent need of you.
Oh, you have you? Well then, let me just,
Yea, I have urgent need of your counsel. I am certain that my husband Blarg is hiding a shameful secret from me. As you doubtless could note from my flushedness of face and heaving of bosom, I burn with the fever of suspicion and curiosity.
Indeed, I did remark a fever upon your person, and wish fervently that I may bring it to a speedy resolution. Let us see. What is this secret that your husband Thomas Blarg hides from you?
He lost the money, all his monies. It appears that Alice is to inherit wealth one day. Alice's husband serves his wife and family well through his frugal management of their affairs. That's not true. I see, intelligence authority, yes. Verily, Alice is impressed by my authority and intelligence. Oh, not again. He's falling in love with this chick. Alice's husband's business instincts are misdirected. Alice's husband has been carelessly optimistic about the family finances. The secret relates to the sudden transformation in fortune. Surely this refers to the Spanish treasure expedition Alice's husband invested in, but would it be right to reveal what I know to Alice? Going to be like another chick that he gets with. Oh, see, a religious romance? No, B it is.
I fear the secret your husband hides is a sudden transformation from wealth to pauperdom, for he has been careless with your family's finances by making a series of bad business investments.
Lawks a mercy, that boiled-brained chump has ruined us. Upon my virtue, I can hardly bear to think on it. Nay, I cannot even. Say, is that medicinal wine I spy on the shelf behind you, good sir?
Medicinal
Really, pour your
wine.
patient a dose of it. Simon makes a fine figure when he reads the stars wisely. Mayhap I stay a while and take wine and a little else with him.
Some coitus post consultatio. Lovely. Slept with a drunk chick as well. The dude died? Really? Cool.
Good day, Mistress Delamere.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis Lady Dyer now. I got married after poor Mr. Delamere passed.
Verily? Oh, I am full sorry to hear of your husband's demise, my lady.
As a third husband.
Work of a witch, just as you predicted, Dr. Foreman. On the morning he died, I saw our cook Mavis mixing some manner of potion in a cauldron, while uttering some evil incantation in a foreign tongue. I sent her packing back to Wales.
It was a witch, eh?
'Twas too late for my poor Mr. Delamere. He collapsed and died that even.
Ah, and you are sure your cook was not merely singing a Welsh folk song while stirring a pot of soup? But yes, she was very probably incanting a spell, as you say. Oh, what a ghastly business. You must have been most distressed.
Yes, I was. So I hope you will understand why I worry for the health of my new husband, Lord Dyer.
Perfect.
That is not at all. And yet...
And yet you would wish to know so that you may rest easier. Why, of course, my lady. Pray, describe Lord Dyer's troubles to me, no matter how trifling they may seem to you.
Well, I have noted that my husband awakens many times in the night to make water. Mayhap 'tis the reason why he tires so easily during the day. And he does oft complain of thirst and hunger, even after meals.
Frequent urination, tiredness, dog-like appetite, and thirst. Be there anything else?
There is also a small wound on his hand. It does not appear grave, yet it has not healed, even though it be some weeks since he cut himself.
A wound that will not heal.
Hmm.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Be there any grave illness troubling Mr. John Delamere?
Methinks you mean Lord Henry Dyer, Dr. Foreman.
I beseech your pardon, my lady. What illness troubles Lord Henry Dyer?
The diabetes. Is that diabetes? Bewitched. Gangrene in the hand. Might be diabetes. I'll go with this.
It would seem Lord Dyer suffers from the diabetes. 'Tis a grave case of it, I am afeard.
God mend me. Then how am I to keep my husband from dying of it?
Well, the consumption of lettuce seeds and barley water can help, and you must not allow him to take honey or sweetmeats. In truth, I am a little concerned about the wound on his lordship's hand, though it be minor. 'Tis the diabetes that prevents it from healing.
Oh, then what should be done about it?
Take Lord Dyer to a barber surgeon, where he may have leeches applied to his wound. This will draw out the corrupt blood to hasten the healing. But prithee, be sure that your husband never cuts himself again, for the corruption of blood such cuts occasion in a sufferer of the diabetes, well, they oftentimes prove fatal.
Oh, then I shall do precisely as you advised, Dr. Foreman. I thank
She
you
will come
heartily,
back
sir.
with a fourth
Good day.
husband, I'm sure. Yeah. She makes a comeback.
day, Mistress Allen. I hear a child was lately born to you. I trust he is well?
Yes, indeed. God has favoured us with a healthy boy. He is a true blessing to Mr. Allen and me. And we pray he remains so. That is, that this child remains in good health. And as I do ail of something, normally I would not have come, but methinks 'tis best I am treated, for the sake of Marmaduke, lest he take ill from
Marmaduke.
I see. Then pray describe your troubles to me, Mistress Allen.
Well, in truth, 'tis but a cough, but indeed at first I thought 'twas naught but a chilly cold, but 'tis many weeks now, and it lingers still. Forsooth, I am afeard it does grow worse.
Many weeks, you say? Aye, that is most concerning. Let us see what the stars have to say. What ails Mistress Avis Allen, and how may she be cured?
Cough those days. Bewitched. Mattering in the breast. Mattering in the breast, I guess.
Before I complete my judgment, madam, I must ask a question of medical relevance. Who is the true father of your...
God mend me, Simon! You would plague me with your suspicious fancies even now, in my very hour of need. Have you no thought for my son and my... I am full sick of your jealous delusions. Oh, verily, I should never have come. I will bid ye good day now, Simon.
But would you not wish to know what ails you?
Indeed, I would. Which is why I will be finding myself another doctor.
And it's fine, but yeah. I have her letter of recommendation and she's going to die.
And the story seems both crucial facts left untold.
The story seems both crucial facts left untold.
When Foreman protested, pushed to the testes.
Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Good day, Signor Ferraro. How may I do you service?
How may you do me service, huh? 'Tis a question, is it not? I do hear you offer many different services, huh? Not just in medicine, for you are a dottore of a special kind, one who gives answers to all the problems, see?
Forsooth, 'tis true, Signor. In my practice, I endeavour to treat the whole man, mind, body, soul, the location of his missing household items, all are connected at a holistic level. I take it this time you are
Where are my
a problem
socks,
that does
man?
not pertain to a bodily complaint.
See, this is my mama. She does worry night and day. She say, Ricardo, you must go to the wise man who reads the stars and have him tell you what your future holds. I say, Mama, if it'll make you happy, I will go to Signor Foreman and ask him.
I see. And is there any particular reason for your mother to be thus concerned? Be you faced with some kind of imminent danger?
A particular reason, you say? Nay, Signor, she needs no reason to worry. Mia madre is an Italian mama.
Ah, yes, of course.
You see now, huh? She is not like these London mamas who make the children live in a cupboard with the dog.
Well, then mayhap the stars might offer your devoted mother some comfort. What does the future hold for Riccardo Ferraro and his mother?
Riccardo Ferraro is not being honest, and soon his deceptiveness will be discovered. Ooh. My relationship with the Senor Riccardo is about to undergo a sudden transformation. Oh, here we go. He might be a she. Riccardo Ferraro is an authority figure who holds a position of responsibility at a learned institution. Whatever that is. A young man who is in a relationship with Signor Ferraro's mother is a hypocrite who will betray her. Ferraro will one day inherit an agreeable sum from his mother. The Ferraro family is frugal. This includes Signora Ferraro, who has carefully managed her personal fortune. Let's go with a crazy one. A it is.
I am afeard these stars reveal information of a most disturbing nature.
Verily?
Aye. When you first came to me, you did tell me that you worked in trade. And yet my chart very plainly indicates that you are an authority figure, connected with a learned institution over which you hold a position of responsibility. Indeed, it would seem that you are not who you say you are. Do you deny it, Signor?
Oh, Sirrah! You would accuse me of calling myself something I am not? Look at you, Sirrah, a charlatan who would call himself a doctor. You are
he changed
not but a
his...
pretender.
Fie, sir! It is you who are the pretender.
Changed
But
his...
it's clear you are not the merchant of Venice you pretend to be. Who are you? What is your true name, sir?
You will know it in time, Sirrah, for we shall meet again. I bid you good day, Dr. Foreman.
Lol. Okay. There's some sort of fishiness with this guy. Of course, he's not going to give me my letter of recommendation. I now have all the information I need for my report. Oh, he's one of those guys undercover, probably. Sir, it is with much sorrow that I write to inform you of the death of my wife, Avis. These 2 past days, her new doctor could not save her, even though he held a medical license, and thus highly skilled. Although you were no longer my wife's doctor, I am grateful for the kindness you have shown Avis over the years, and I know she was too. Indeed, she spoke of you in her final words, saying, "Oh, Simon, forgive me, Simon," or something of the like. Doubtless the expression of guilt was in the reference to a bill of your services she had not yet settled. How like my poor wife to have been thinking of her obligations to others until her last breath. I enclose with this missive the sum of 1 shilling and beg your forgiveness for late payment. Your most assured friend, William Allen. She dead. Someone to blame. Okay.
But why did you not let me save you, Avis? Why did you entrust your precious life to another doctor? An ignorant impostor who knows not how to read the stars to judge an illness. Oh, my beloved Avis. Why did you die before I had the chance to...
Ava's death was the fault of the licensed doctor with a medical degree. Ava's surprising decision to see a doctor led to her death. Lies and rumors circulating about Ava's concerning her Catholic faith, and mayhap even our affair, provoked anxious passions that exacerbated her illness. Ava's lavished such attention and care on her child, she neglected her own health. God is punishing me for not having been a more pleasant romantic partner for Avis. I caused the tragedy by being aggressive and careless in my behavior towards Avis. Take the blame or blame someone else. Yes, let's take the blame.
So 'twas I. I am to blame for Avis's death. If only I had not driven away with my ill-tempered, unkind accusations. Would that I had turned my thoughts to her illness and away from my own selfish needs. How will she ever? How will I ever forgive myself?
Mm.
When you are shook by something in a book where it says that you might have some rare malady, see Dr. Foreman, be sure to inform him you have it on very good authority.
Good day, Mr. Mugg. What brings you?
I am exceeding ill, Dr. Foreman. Verily I am. And you know my wife. She is refusing to hear anything about it. 'Tis but another of your delusions, Nicholas, she says. She will not even look at it.
Look at what? Oh, I see. You may pull up your breeches now. Pray let me examine you more closely. Raise your chin, if you please. Now, loosen your garter and remove your stocking. I am afeard this verily is grave. Most grave indeed.
'Tis? Verily?
I believe so. But we must have it confirmed by the stars. Let us consult them now. What explains these swellings that have arisen on various parts of Nicholas Mugg's body?
Ooh. The plague. Oh no. Disease characterized by swellings and boils around beyond the ears, under armpits, and in the groin. Okay. Scrofula, a disease characterized by swelling in nodules around the lymph nodes and behind the knees. Huh. Might be behind the knees, right? I'll put this one.
You have scrofula, a disease commonly known as the King's Evil. It is very grave, but worry not, for I have a cure close at hand.
Ah, the King's Evil. 'Tis the ailment that may be cured by the placing of royal hands upon the neck. Oh, you do not mean to say that Her Majesty the Queen herself is at this very moment...
What? No, of course not. I was referring to my famous strong water. A moment, if you please, while I retrieve it from my cabinet. But, sir, unhand it, sir. The dosage is very precise. You must not... nay, not the whole bottle. Ye gods, man, what have you done?
Methinks I am dying.
Oh, woe. A fatal dose. Alas, I am sorry for it, sir, but you were never meant to drink so much of it. Oh, may God forgive me.
Nay, do not blame yourself, Doctor. Thank ye heartily, for at last all shall know, my wife, my friends, how wrong they were, and how I did speak true.
William! William! Oh, curse it, where is that feckless manservant of mine? William! Go forth and fetch the vicar!
Guy died. GG. And I was at 90% with him. I'm not going to win this game.
Mr. Foreman, you have been called before this assembly of the College of Physicians to answer the charge of practicing medicine without a medical license.
God damn it.
What
I don't have. I have only one out of 8.
Deny practicing medicine, sir?
Why, no, I would not deny it. My practice is well known. Indeed, since I helped cure the plague of '92 with my strong water...
Then you admit you have committed this most grievous offence.
Well, 'tis true I'm not technically licensed, but I fail to see how...
You fail to see? Then permit me to enlighten you, sir. A medical license assures the residents of London that a physician has the necessary education and skill to treat them. By practicing without qualification, you have not only broken the law, you have endangered the lives of your patients. Indeed, we have received reports that a man by the name of Nicholas Mugg, a wig maker of Silver Street, has lately died under your care.
Aye, well, that was most lamentable, but not my fault, sir. Mr. Mugg took a far greater dose of my strong water than I advised him to. He chose the dosage himself. In truth, one might say that the cause of death in this instance was, well, Nicholas Mugg, practicing without a medical license.
Silence, Mr. Foreman! Your impudent japery may well be suffered by your patients, but it will not be tolerated here.
I do apologize, Mr. Smith.
Besides the death of this patient, we have gathered ample evidence of your malpractice, Mr. Foreman. Indeed, we have had this illegal operation of yours under observation for quite some time.
'Twas you, Riccardo Ferraro, the merchant from Venice. All along he was you, Richard Smith, the Queen's royal physician. Then I take it, Mr. Smith, you were unsatisfied with the medical care I gave you?
Sir, we are well aware of your occult practices. What you so boldly call medical care was naught but advice conjured up by means of dark magic. You have no understanding of physic or astrology.
But my knowledge of both physic and astrology is unparalleled.
If that is so, then doubtless you will happily submit to having your knowledge examined before this assembly.
Which planet or star represents authority? Mars, Mercury, the Moon, the Sun. Oh, I never read those. We'll say the Sun. Men are for Mars, women are from Venus. Phlegm is hot and moist, cold and moist, cold and dry. I should have paid attention to this crap. What was it? Black bile and stuff? I'll say this. Which zodiac rules over the privy parts? Who the hell read those things? I don't know. Say Sagittarius.
Silence!
Simon
Foreman, you have failed.
One.
Constable, shackle this man and take him from hence to jail.
But, sir, this is most unjust. Pray afford me the chance to unhand me, you rogue.
I mistook one of those craps. Come on. Sir, I am happy to inform you that I have secured your release from jail by way of my friendship with Mistress Maud Smith, wife of the President of the College of Physicians. We have contrived to have her husband believe that you enjoy the favor of John Whitgift, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Archbishop plans to grant you a medical license. But whilst you will be freed this day, our ruse will not hold for long. For Maud says the college intends to write to the Archbishop to warn him that you are a charlatan and urge him not to grant you a license. Your assured friend, Alice Blake. Rip. I only missed one, or maybe the last one.
Good day, Mistress Blag. Before we start, I must thank you for having used your influence to help me resolve my recent difficulties.
Say nothing of it. Those doctors and their College of Physicians. Naught but a band of piss-pot sniffing bullies, so they are. Besides, I needed you out of prison so that you might read the stars for me.
I see. And what would you have me advise you on?
What know you of Richard Bancroft, the Bishop of London?
Not much, in truth. But I did attend the Easter service at St. Paul's. I found the bishop's sermon on the virtues of chastity and abstinence most compelling. Why, you know him well?
Not very well as yet. I was seated beside him at an Episcopal dinner Saturday last. We discoursed a while. Bishop Bancroft is a most charming man. But there was a moment when we did both reach for the brandy decanter. Our eyes met and I felt something.
'Twas a spark between you and the bishop? You felt a certain frisson in the air?
Nay, I felt a certain hand up my skirts, more like.
His Grace put his hand up your skirts. Madam, may I say how...
Save your congratulations, Foreman. The bishop's not in the bag yet. Hence why I am come to you. Now that I have piqued his interest, I would have the stars tell me how to secure it.
Ah, then you wish to pursue an amorous affair with Bishop Bancroft. But what of your husband, Dean Blagg?
Oh, do not speak to me of my husband. Thomas Blagg is not fit to secure his wife's future. He is not fit for many of his marital duties, truth be told. But you did warn me of Blagg's financial ruin, and for that I am grateful.
Forsooth, I am glad I was able to be of service to you, Mistress Blagg.
Speaking of such, let us press on with this day's readings, if you please.
Of course, let us consult the stars. How may Mistress Blagg secure the lasting affections of Richard Bancroft, the Bishop of London?
Alice is behaving careless with her husband's legacy. Engaging in sin would go against Alice Christian's instincts. If Alice changes her approach and exercises constraint, good angels would aid her in her plans. Good angels. Alice's chances of romantic success will be enhanced if she adopts a quiet, demure thing. The responsible thing to do would be to tell Alice some hard truths and afford her some perspective. Her reaction to this, however, might be unpredictable. Alice should admit adultery with the bishop while he is away. Commit adultery with the bishop while he is away from home. Alice should lie to the bishop by telling her she is with child, his child. I'll go with B.
The stars advise you to conduct your wooing of the Bishop Bancroft with constraint and discipline. You must be strict. Allow him no intimacies.
I see. Keep the bishop's hands off me till he begs for it. Until he be driven so mad with lust he would offer anything for a tumble.
'Tis one interpretation, certainly. 'Tis true that Lady Anne Boleyn found success with such a stratagem in her pursuit of the late King Henry Tudor. At least, up to a point.
Aye, poor lady. Be there anything else?
My chart does also advise you to adopt a manner that is quiet, gentle, and demure.
Verily, I will not lie. This is beginning to sound like a cod's load of work. Mayhap I play dumb with the bishop and merely nod and smile at everything he says. But 'tis the stratagem used by Jane Seymour, I believe. And unlike Anne Boleyn, she bagged her king without losing her head, did she not?
That guy cut quite a lot of heads. What? Coitus thing? After this session as well? Jesus. Yes, your grace. Nay, your grace. Pray remove your hand, your grace. Nay. Must bugger, needs must, but bugger this for a flark. Okay. Oh, we really should stop streaming now. Maybe put a movie on. Kinda late. Put a movie. But, you know, streaming is over. We'll see what Mr. Lancelot wants some other time. Time to go. Yep. I'll see this some other time.